everyone, it's Jojo with Jojo Crosses, and I'm here with our challenge, the 4 Realms Challenge, where you can choose one of the following, the 4 seasons, 4 elements, or 4 biomes. There's time travel allowed, treasure islands, custom codes are fine, villagers are any which way. There is a spin you have to do, and you have 80 days to finish, April 1st through June 20th. The spin that we're talking about is you go and you create a wheel of miscellaneous items which are listed here. You must use these items that are listed and put it in a spin wheel program, which you can find on the internet any old which way. And then you have to use 4 items in order to make your island, situated. So now we're going to find our island, and obviously I'm going to enter in my stuff that I normally do. So of course I will be Jojo because, this is how I roll. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my birthday in, July 29th, which is my huge, we're not going to change any of that up. And then, of course, they're going to look and see if I ever registered for this trip, and they should be able to find me. Oh, they did. Okay. So I'm there. Now, I have to create my character, and we don't want to go in there looking all crazy town. So, let's get that going. So I am a girly girl, and I am pretty much this color, actually. And then I think I'm going to go with the wavy hair, but I'm more blondish brown. I don't know. They don't have my color. These eyes though, but yeah, no, we're going to pick the eyes that I normally have, which are the top lashes. And then I did forget to change my eye color, so I can probably change it later, but I am the round nose and the little ooh-woo face usually. So, and then I put a little blush on my girl. I do like that I have my yellow shirt. I feel like it's kind of lucky. And you'll see, spoiler alert, it kind of is, okay? But now that we're all set and designed, we're going to go ahead and, oh my gosh, we're going to go ahead and add, look at our islands. So, yes, let's start talking about our new home. I know, y'all. I got a little pausey in this section. I was kind of streaming while I was making this video. And so that's why this is a voiceover Jojo, because I took this from stream and had to clip it apart. You know what I mean? But we're Northern Hemisphere, North America, because that's where I live. I always just do that. It's too hard to try to manage different hemispheres for me anyways. I just don't want to have to keep track. I'm lazy, lazy Daisy. Very good. Now we are going to go ahead and see if we can get our island chosen. They always say they're all the same, but they are not. They are not the same. Not one single bit. So that is the kicker. And I'm trying to look for one that is more centralized. I could have used with the resident services being a little further back, but this is going to do the tricks. I kind of have a certain idea of how I want the island to go. And so this one on the bottom right is pretty good. Like, I kind of wanted it centered as much as I could in the middle of the island. And I would like it to be sort of lined up with the airport, middle of the map kind of thing. I know you can't really get dead center in this, so this one is going to probably be okay. The only thing is I don't want an orange airport, and my starters don't really matter too much. I'm going to get rid of them eventually, but I would like to have some decent starters. That would be great. So, we just have to see what's going to happen. They always ask this final question, which they say doesn't mean anything. I have no idea if that's true or not, but people have tested it. And they've kind of decided it doesn't mean anything, but I always pick food every single time. Doesn't seem to have a bearing on anything that I've ever noticed, but, take it as you will. I've tried several different answers before and never noticed a change, so, it's fine. But now they're calling for us to get on the airplane, and we're going to go fly over and see what our island looks like. I don't really care what the fruit is or the flower. I would love to have like mums or cosmos to start, or even tulips, but I would never get tulips with my birthday. It's usually cosmos, lilies, or roses. Those are my only 3 choices. So we have peaches, which is fine and dandy. We got the little butt fruit, booty fruit, the booty fruit for me. All right, we got a green airport and Diva and Goose. I actually like both of these villagers, believe it or not. Diva was on my space island. I liked her. I don't mind her at all, really. I know some people don't like her. She's very gaudy looking, but I don't mind. And then Goose, you know, he's on Amanda Files, and every time I saw her hanging out with him, it cracked me up. So now we're gonna go ahead. I just want to see if this is centered, and it is not, but it's fine. I mean lined up, not centered. Lined up with the airport. It's not. It's going to be off kilter by like 1 to 2 spaces. I don't know, but it's fine. It's no big deal. I'm not planning on centralizing this entrance at all, so it really doesn't bother me. Then I just wanted to run up and see what flower we had, and we had lilies, so kind of disappointed by that, but I'm actually glad it's not roses, so I'll go ahead and take it. And we'll probably use some lilies here on the island at some point or another. So it's not that big of a deal. All right, so now we're just gonna head over and we're gonna get the process started with Presidente Nook. Yeah, is that everyone? Yes. Is Diva here? She sure is. How about Goose? Yes, Goose is here. And there's Jojo, of course. Yes, of course. All right. So now we're going to get told to grab our tent. So we're going to go to Timmy, get our tent. And I don't know why, but I always go to the flag one. He's the one that does all the work anyway. He walks all around that island. The other guy just sits inside there until he gets a customer. I've plopped my tent over on the short beach area. I don't care really too much. I'm going to move my house anyways. Just getting it out of the way so that I can like design first and kind of figure stuff out. Then I found Diva and made her give me her tent. And so I went ahead and took hers, and then I'm going to go over and I'm going to find Goose. And I'm going to make Goose give me his tent. And then you guess where they're going to go. I don't know if you guys can guess at all, but they're going to go over on the beach. So we're going to head over to the beach after I grab both their tents and plop them down together. But yeah, I don't mind Diva. Like I said, she's kind of cool. I won't have probably any purple on this island. I don't think so. I can't foresee it anyway. But being that it's the 4 realms, I'll just talk about that right now since we're in the beginning game and you guys have seen this 1,000 times. My 4 realms are going to be the elements. So obviously, because I named my island, wait, did I name it yet? You haven't even seen it yet. Anyways, it's going to be the 4 elements, and you're going to can I say one more time? Fire, wind, water, and earth are the 4 elements, obviously. So we're going to base each little quadrant of the island on those 4 elements, which is pretty awesome. I've never done that before, so I'm kind of excited. I feel like sky is going to probably be the hardest one to do, but we're going to do our best. I'm not expecting it to be anything fantastical. I'm excited about the water one. I'm excited about earth. I already have ideas for that. I have ideas for the fire section. However, fire will probably be the next hardest. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. Obviously, it's nothing I've done before. I don't even know how I'm going to pull off fire in this one, but we do have a few things that have fire on them. We have a lot of things that, hopefully we can make it look that way. So I don't know. I mean, it'll be fun to kind of try. If it looks like garbage at the end, well, I appreciate you standing by me, even if it looks like trash. Now he is talking to me about gathering up sticks and peaches for our little bonfire. I gathered them. So we've got all that jazz going on. I was ahead of the game. I picked everything up. And now we're going to have our little bonfire. And we won't get to hear him light it, which I always love to hear because, you know, we're on this. By the way, music playing right now is by O'Neil, O-N-E-U-L. I'm going to put it in the link. It's called Kaya Toast or Kaya Toast. I don't know. Anyways, it's just a little fun, light music that she has, or I think it's a she that does this. And it's a free music download that you can use, but I gotta give her a plug because I appreciate it being there and being for free. But I will also link it, like I said, down below, so that'll be something if you want to look it up. There's other songs they have too, so you could like look up a bunch of different ones. This is just the one I chose for this video. And you know, I kind of wish I had the peaceful you know, island music, but I wasn't able to make that work while doing this on stream. All right, so our name is going to be Elemental. Boy, that's super original for an Elements Island, right? No, my stream helped me come across it. I was going to name it Divided. That was the original island because I did start one and then I ended up trashing it because I didn't like where Resident Services was. Really good villagers too. It was kind of a bummer. But anyways, Elemental I think is a much better name because it kind of insinuates what this island is about. So that's kind of nice. But anyways, that's what we're going to go with. Everybody clapped. Everybody liked my idea. So nobody said no. So we're just going to chill with it. Yeah. So now that we've got our name, I am now the resident representative, which I didn't ask for, Nook, but fine, you made me that. I will do my best. I'm going to give you a word or two. I'm not a real big public speaker, like, believe it or not. I don't really like public speaking in front of a big room or something. So the fact that you made me do that makes me uncomfortable. But anyways, I always like to go over and say hi to my villagers before I go to bed. Kind of a little night all, good to see ya kind of thing. And then we got to go over and grab my cot. I don't know if you guys can guess which cot I get, but I'll just tell you, spoiler, I never get a good cot. Hardly ever do I get a good cot. It's fine. I'm never going to use it. So no big deal to me, but I am going to go plop it in my tent, lay down my weary head, dream about a white dog because it's kind of weird, but that was the first thing that came to mind when I laid my head down here on this island. And I don't know why, but it just did. So anyway, we're going to unwrap our packages too while we're here. I got the blue radio and I got the golden lantern. Don't know if I'll use those anywhere, but hey, happy to have them, whatever. It's better than having no light in my tent, I guess. So, you know, there's that. And then we're going to go ahead and put down my lovely cot. This cot, I feel like I get almost every single time. I don't know why Nintendo has it out for me, but yeah, camo. I usually get the green one or the gray one. It just doesn't matter. Always get a camo. Anyway, here comes our dog. I believe his name is KK. Yeah. So, KK Slider or something like that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we all know. 6 years later. I think we're pretty familiar with the doggo. But, yeah, there he is in his naked glory. It does. I have decided to make my own way in the world. But we're going to move on because you need pants. All right, here we are. We're waking up in the morning rudely because I was having a great sleep until Nook stood outside my tent and accosted me with all this nonsense. We're going to go through the rigmarole. I'm not going to show it all to you. He wants to know if I've used a cell phone before. He wants to know if I know I have a bill, all this jazz. We're done, okay? I'm on my own. I get to live however I want, they say. I just checked my mail. I was using my Nintendo Joy-Con, so that gets you a free, Nintendo Switch. And then we're going to go talk to my villagers the first day. I wanted to get my hat. He didn't give me my favorite hat. Again, another spoiler alert. He gave me, he gave me the denim hat. I'm not a big fan of that one, but I put it on anyway, just because, I gotta appease Goose. I don't want him to, hate me or something. But, we'll put that on for a little bit until I get a new hat, which I should get in the mail tomorrow because I'm ordering my tulip hat. So you'll see. But anyways, there it is. My hat in its glory. Chatting with Diva. You have to chat with her in order to initiate the DIY learning situation. So she's going to give me a DIY for something I never use in this game, ever. The leaf umbrella. I think I've used it a few times just to make some bells, but no. Anyway, we're going to go talk to Presidente Nook. And he wants to know how I'm liking my tent and telling me I could talk to Timmy and things like that. Yeah, we know. We know we have to pay. We know all of that jazz. But yeah, we're going to take that DIY workshop so we can make our fishing pole, make our net, that kind of thing. So obviously this video is nothing that you haven't seen before. But I still think it's fun. I like the beginning game, Matter of fact, I like the beginning game more than most of the game, honestly. I like picking weeds. I like just chilling, grabbing fish and bugs and all that fun stuff. But unfortunately, this is a time challenge. Now, I do feel like we have a good amount of time. We have 80 days, so, obviously it goes for majority of the spring until it gets to summer. So June 20th is, I believe, the day before the first day of summer, and that's when we decided to end this. And so, yeah, we have from April 1st to June 20th to get our islands in order and, present the final product at the end. So I think that's a pretty good amount of time. Anyway, he's taught me to create, and so we're going to go ahead and make our, we already made our fishing pole, now we're going to make our net, because I need that, and then I caught some bugs. I went ahead and wrote my elemental on here, just to have something on the board, because that'll get you some Nook miles. I caught another bug, I caught another bug. I caught a fish. I caught another bug. Went in and we're going to go ahead and donate all these bugs. He gave me my Nook Critopedia. And then I gave him another one and he gave me the recipe to do an axe. And then I gave him another one and he gave me some red Cosmo bags. I gave him this last one here. He gave me the recipe to the water can so I can water those flowers. And then the last thing is this grasshopper. He's going to give me the tent for Blathers because he just called. He gave him a ringy dingy. So we're going to go place our museum out probably on the sand somewhere. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, on the beach. There we go. Where everything else is, basically. Got it. Perfecto. He'll be moved in tomorrow. Then I went and did a design change, but I didn't really change anything. All I do is open it, say I'm changing it, don't change it, and then save it. I changed my passport to what I always am, which is Festive Mama. There I am. I took a picture of myself because I get some Nook miles for that. And so got to get the famous tent picture, You always have to click that one in. Then I went back in. I was going to chat with President Nook, let him know I did find a spot for the museum. And then I wanted to talk to Timmy, see about selling some items, maybe getting some Nook miles for that. I wanted to look in the ABD, do a little shopping. But first I just wanted to see what we had. This is where I found my tulip hat. It's the orange one, but it's fine. I can still do it. And I am interested in buying the Lego workbench, not because I really want the Lego one, but because it's an easy one to get in the beginning. So, you know, I'm going to probably do that. I would love to buy these couple of things, but I'm not going to because I don't have any money. So I realized that here at some point, and then I wanted to sell him some stuff to make some money. So I'm just going to sell all my fruit and weeds. Got about $16.50. That was not very impressive. I was on stream, so I didn't take the time to like go weed everything like I normally do. Shook some trees. I got, you know, a wasp out of there and stuff like that. And then, you know, shook these trees, got a few more bugs, stuff like that. Went ahead and sold some of those and got $54.70 out of that, which was good. I can buy some of these things that I wanted. So yeah, it's working out. And then once I buy some things, I'm going to go through and just see all the Nook miles that I've achieved. I need to get to 5,000 to pay my house off. I really wanted to just do that on the first day, was museum and my house. As long as I get those two things done, I'm golden. Then our next video, I'm literally probably just going to start decorating because I'm going to get to 3 stars on my own. I don't think y'all need to see all that again and again and again. So, you know, we'll go ahead and just cruise on through. You know, if I end up doing a villager hunt and stuff, it might be on stream, it might not be. But in any case, we're going to go ahead and get forward to the part where I start decorating. And so that will be good. But yeah, I think we'll probably do a villager hunt coming up on this Saturday's stream. Which, if you're watching this in the future, well, that's long gone. But if you're watching this anywhere around April Fool's Day 2026, then it will be like in 2 days. So yeah. So we're gonna probably do some villager hunting. And yeah, I ended up getting pretty close to the miles I needed, but I still was lacking about 350? Yeah, 350. So I just had to go back around and collect some more weeds, do some more things. You know, the basic stuff in the beginning that we all have to do. It just makes it a little more trying, you know what I mean? So but I enjoy it. I enjoy this part of the game. So went ahead and caught me a few more fish. Yes, we got even our little bass. All right. I'm plopping those down because you actually get some Nook miles for just putting your furniture down, which is great. And then once I get those down, which isn't really enough, but it's fine, then I went ahead and put down a little bit more furniture. Looks like I got a few miles for that. I went ahead and planted some flowers, which weren't enough. I think I just planted 5 cosmos. I think you have to plant at least 10 to get credit for it, and I forgot about that, or I forgot to go buy the flowers. So I ended up getting this one, which was just the exterior decorator by putting in the stuff. And then I realized, okay, well, I have a few more things to do. So I went ahead and sold some more weeds and stuff. And that ended up getting me the greedy weeder, I believe. And ended up getting us close enough to pay off my house. So both of the goals that I had for today's video were accomplished, which is fantastic. So I went ahead and claimed those Nook miles here, and then we're going to go talk to El Presidente because, you know, let's get this in business, because I definitely want to come back and have my house built and have it easier to, you know, go about stream next time. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and talk to El Presidente. We're going to go ahead and upgrade our house. I want to have a probably a green roof on my house, because I'm thinking I might put it either in the earth section, or I might put it over in the water section. And green or blue would go with the both sections, in my opinion. So yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and go with green for now, and we'll see what happens. And then he's just telling me all the things about how you get Nook shopping, and you're gonna get the plus Nook miles and all that over in the ABD. So, you know, I'm not worried about that. We'll get our Nook miles eventually. I'm gonna probably have to go to Treasure Islands for this one, or somehow maybe if I can get my modded Switch to actually work without failing, I will drop myself some stuff locally. I can't online travel really, and I really don't like using my modded Switch right now because it's just not good. Since there's no update, I'm worried it's just gonna collapse into the abyss and things like that. So yeah, it's no point. But yeah, we went ahead and got all that paid off, and I'm excited about the challenge. I hope you guys join in and do your own 4 realms. Hello everyone, it's Jojo with Jojo Crosses here, and today I'm going to create a mood board for our new island of elements. And so we're getting started over here in Canva, and I'm just going to kind of show you like what we're doing here. So I went ahead and just made a blue background because I figured that could be like the sky or whatever. And then I want to add a little text box and put in here and then we're going to make it a little bigger, and we're going to kind of keep it maybe right in the middle here. And then that is I want to change the coloring of it. So gosh, I wish we could pull apart each letter, which I know you can, but it's a little more difficult. So I wonder what it will do. I don't like the red against that. Let's see. What about like a yellow? No, that's terrible. Let's see what else we have here. I mean, the black. Will it do these kind of gradient colors? Let me see if it'll do that. Oh, that's kind of neat. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that to the letters. That's neato. Okay, well let's try that one to begin with, and then what we can do also is we can outline them. So let's go back to where is it? I am not the best. I think I have to go back to letters. Okay, then we go into effects, and let's do this. Let's do the neon. Yeah, that kind of looks cool. Or what about this one? What about this? Oh gosh, that looks weird. Okay, now let's go back. What about a glow? A little glow would look good. I don't know which one I like. I think I liked this one better. So that is pretty good. Okay, let's do with that. But then now I feel like I want to change this background color to a different color. Maybe no. This maybe? Ooh, oh. Maybe. It definitely blends in a little better. I'm not sure that that's the color for us, but we're gonna do it for right now. Okay, and then I want to add in some of our characters that we're going to have, and maybe just kind of divide this up a little bit. So we're gonna have 4 different quadrants, and it's gonna be like air. I'm sorry. Let's see. I think the front is going to be, gosh, where do we want to enter with? Probably, because this back area I was going to do earth and have like, but then you know, that doesn't make any sense. Let's do fire at the back. Let's see, earth, wind, fire, rain. We can do that. So let's enter with earth. So if we're going to put Lily in here, then Lily is going to be over here in the water section. And then we're also going to add in Tad maybe. Let's do Tad. Let's see if he comes up here. Sometimes it's a little delayed, so we'll see if it works. Oh, it did. Good. We could do Tad. Let's see, copy image. And then let's go back into here. You guys are seeing my not so great usage of Canva. There's our little froggy couple. And then I had picked Molly originally to be the duck on this side. So I think I'm going to put Molly in here because I feel like it'll break it up a little bit and we can have a little duck pond or something in there. You know, and plus she's super cute. Like, who doesn't love her? All right, so let's paste her right in here. There we go. There's the girl herself. She's going to be hanging out with her froggy friends. Okay, so that's the characters for our water section. Let me put a little text box. We're going to do water. And then let's put that, let's make that a certain color. Let's see. All right. Actually, let me move this over to here. All right, and then can I make this a certain color? Where's the colors? In here, I think. Let me do this lighter color. There we go. There's water. And then, so let's see, Earth is going to be down below. So let's go ahead and put a text box there. And we're going to put our Earth. Okay, and let's move that down here. And then let's change that color to more of a brown for Earth. It's not very brown. What about that color? No, too dark. How about that one? There we go. All right, and then wind. We can do white for wind. How about that? Would be a good one. So let's add a text box for wind. And let's highlight that, and then let's make that white. There we go. That's good. Let's put wind over here. Kind of lined up with our water. And then the fire will go up top, and we can make that a nice fiery red. How about? So let's do that. There we go. Move fire up here. And then let's highlight that, and we could make that like a nice bright, vibrant red. Let me find one. Or it could be orangey. Ooh, what about this one? That's kind of cool. That looks like fire. Okay. All right. So for our fire section, we are going to put Phoebe and Rodeo in. So let me pull those two up. Okay, so adding Phoebe up to here. Hello. There we go. Let's make her a little smaller. I might need to make all my villagers a little smaller. And then we'll grab our Rodeo. Okay, there's Rodeo with his eyes. Rodeo's house is like HE double hockey sticks looking, and Phoebe's house is also on fire. So these two have perfect interiors for this. If you haven't seen them before, spoiler alert, it's really cool. And some of these areas are going to have 3 villagers and some are going to have 2. It just depends on the ease of use for me because, and which ones I like the best and stuff like that. For wind, we are going to do Sky and Ione. Okay, so here comes Sky. We're going to plop her into here. There she is. Here we go. And then we're gonna grab our other Ione. Okay, there's Ione. Look at her looking all adorable in her picture. Everybody else is just standing there straight, and I found hers is just super cute. Okay, and then let's find our Earth people. Let's find our Earth people really quick. Okay, so our first entry here is Grizzly. I love him for being our little like tree manager slash, oh my gosh, I can't talk, lumberjack. Okay, and then we have Maple here. Maple is going to be like Grizzly's little daughter who's like managing the tree farm, and she's got her little tree sweater on, and yeah, so we're gonna have a tree farm, and we're gonna have a little lumberjack area because I'm a basic bee, and that's all I can think of for our Earth area aside from a big hike through the woods and bugs and fishing and things like that. So that is kind of the things you're gonna see in those areas. So we're gonna grab our last one, which I'm not sure on this one. I had originally thought of Fauna because she's like a really beautiful you know, deer, and there's a lot of deer in the woods, and so that is kind of why I chose her. And I do really still like her as a villager, so I'm gonna place her here. I don't know if she'll end up being like the final. If I find another one and I'm like, oh, I never thought of that, you know, I might pick someone else. But for right now, Fauna is our little extra down here. I always reserve the right to add a different one into each section and remove one from a section, so we could definitely do that. Molly is kind of an outcast over here, so I'm not sure if I'll keep her, but I mean, she's adorable if I find her, of course. You know, we'll keep her. But anyway, that's the start. And then let me find some inspo pictures that I wanted to put in here that were just some really cool things that I found that I really loved here. Okay, the first really cool one that I found is this one. And oh my God, look at this thing. Is that not the coolest thing you ever saw? Like, look at that. They use the icy partitions back there, and then they put like a volcanic mountain up above it, and like these really just worn, like burning paths. It's just really cool. So I'm gonna try to do something similar on my island. So that's one of my inspo pictures, and I want to put that, I have to put it back here. I'm gonna maybe, oh God, let me see if I can cut that off a little bit. And then what you have to do is layer it back. So you do position, and then you do backward, to the back. Is that as far back as it will go? Yeah, everything's on top of that. Okay, so that is one of them. Let me move him. Maybe he can be down here and she can be over here. Oh, she needs to move to the front. So let's move her, layer, bring forward. There we go. There we go. Now she's kind of overlapped on top of it. Perfect. So that was one of my inspos to kind of show what the land I would like to look like over here in the Firelands. Okay. Now we're going to go to the inspo for my water area. So let me grab that. Okay. This one that I'm going to post here for the water area is I'm looking for more like a little acapella type situation. But this one was like, it's not exactly what I was looking for, but it kind of gives you an idea. I'm going to have a bunch of little, well, let me make it bigger so you guys can actually see it. I want a bunch of like little spots of mostly water, and then like bridges and a bunch of water in between all the little land spots and things like that. Water surrounding our villagers' homes. Stuff like that. So we're going to put that in for our water area here. So let me do this. Hang on, I got to bring it to the back. Let's see. Let's layer it and send backward. We got to send it backward again. Send to the back. There we go. All right, and then these guys, we'll bring these guys down here just so that they can kind of cover some of this stuff. However, I mean, credit to this person, obviously. We need to give credit to that person. I guess we should put that up like that so that we're not covering up their credit. But yeah, this is just so we can get an idea. I'm not stealing what they're doing at all. These are just to kind of trigger the little brain to work. You know what I mean? Okay, let me find another one. Okay, this next one is my one for the hiking trail or the little lumberjack area. I just want it kind of simple. I want a little dirt path in between, a bunch of trees everywhere, some simple flowers, you know, just really light, cute. This came from Raven Crossing. Yeah. So just so you know, that's what that one is. We're going to put that in here in our little earth section. Let me kind of put it down in the center. And then we'll move that to the back. Let's see, layer, send to the back. There we go. There we go. And then we'll move Grizzly. He can be over here with his little maple. And then we've got our little fauna over there. So that is perfect. Actually, I want her to be a little more seen. And then over here in the wind area, I'm just going to grab something else. I have my own ideas for this. It's going to be like, I want to make like a little castle above the clouds. And then maybe like windmills and balloons and things, anything that's airy. But I want to kind of make it cohesive. I didn't find any pictures like that, but I'm going to go ahead and post, you know, kind of an idea. Earth, you are really not looking good down there. There we go. It's kind of blending in a little weird. Water, same for you. Let's put you up here. Wind, I don't know where you're going to need to be. Fire looks really cool in here. So let's put that there. Okay, let me fix my wind one. Hold on. Okay, my last one, this is not in the clouds, okay? But I'm going to make it in the clouds. So this one is just like an example of the type of castle that I would like. I kind of want it to have blues, so it won't be the gray version, it will be the blue probably version of the castle. And this down here, it probably won't be a fountain. We may have still these flying statues near it because I really like the idea of the fact that, you know, they're up in the clouds and stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this kind of up on a cliff, and then I'm going to put some things down here that adjoin it back, you know, connect it down, and then I want to put the hedges in the snow version, which make it look like there's clouds all around the bottom, and then I have a cloud design that I'm going to put on the ground. This is kind of close to what I want my castle kind of to look like, but it's definitely not what it's going to end up being in the end. So let me throw this in the back here and layer it. I gotta send it to the back. There we go. And let's bring these gals to areas where we can see them, and we'll bring the wind up here. All right, so in a nutshell, like those are just ideas of what I would like each area to kind of have this idea. And then on top of that, we're going to throw in just a few items that I would probably use in each area. So let me grab those and place them, and then we'll kind of be done with this little mood board. Okay, so for the wind, these are just some items. I put the blue castle up there, and like a little glowing balloon, glowing moss balloon, and then this little frozen pillar. And they're gonna have things on them and like be kind of camouflaged and just kind of be more of a structural item. And I have some ideas of how I'm going to pair them all together, but that is the gist of it. It's going to be pretty, I'm kind of hoping it's going to be kind of magnificent. We'll see. I don't know how it will turn out in the end, but you know, my ideas and don't always come into fruition, but we will see. All right, so those are just some of the items that we're gonna use. I have some really cool patterns that I'm gonna use over there too. So yeah, hopefully it all kind of works together. All right, for our fire section, I added on like our volcanoes, some tall garden rocks, and a couple of campfires, bonfires. That's some of the things that we're gonna use over there. I really do love the inspiration picture I have, so I'm going to use a lot of items that you see in that too and try to make it work, but we'll see. I don't want to, like I said, copy it exactly, but I kind of do need to copy some of that to make that volcanic mountain look the way it looks in the picture. So it might be very similar, but you know, I'll try to put my own spin on it, obviously, because I don't want to steal everything from this creator who worked really hard on making that look amazing. Now the archipelago section, let me find what I'm going to use over there. Okay, and then I did my water section. I'm envisioning, you know, an area that has so much water and is kind of a little swampy. It's going to have a lot of these green vines and the green wheat field and mushy items and things like that all around. Probably like a garden rock here and there, like things like that. But there'll be some earthy items in between, but for the most part, it's going to be very, very natural, very swampy, very much a place that a frog or a ducky or whatnot would like to live. So, okay, and then the next one we'll do is the earth area. So let me grab some things for that one. Okay, and our last section is our earth section. And of course, I told you it's going to be like a little hiking area. Oh, I forgot to put some bugs out in here, but there'll be some bugs and maybe a little fishing area. And then we have our log items, our cruiser bike, and a lot of cedar trees and greenery and things like that. So this is my little elements mood board. So hopefully you guys like this and how it turned out. I'm going to save this and send it to myself, and then I'm going to go to our island and I'm going to show you some of the codes that I've downloaded or that I'm going to download so that you can see just kind of what kind of picture we're trying to put together for this island and give you an idea. And I'm going to try to put a few of them on the ground just to kind of test them out and see what they're going to look like. So I'll be right back with that. Right, and I also realized I'm a ding dong. My island's name is not Elements, it is Elemental. So I did fix that. So just FYI, there it is in all of its glory. So hopefully, yeah. Oh, what happened to my water picture? My water picture didn't come over. What the heck happened? Oh no, hold on. We've got to fix that. That's crazy town. All right, well, I had to fix it and get another picture because that one just would not come over. But I actually like this one a little better anyway. So that is my little mood board in a nutshell after a few little mistakes. So, you know, I'm not perfect. Technologically, really not perfect. Anyway, let's go to the island now. Okay, this is one of the first ones that I wanted to download, and it is these guys here. And they are representing the elements. So I'm going to go ahead and download these. They're going to be used on the cubes. Now I do believe, let's see, we have like the water, wind, earth, and I believe this orangey one is the fire. So we're going to take those and I'm going to download them into my area here, but I just wanted to show you that so that you could see where I got it from and see the code for the provider there. So I'll be right back. Okay, this next one is this iridescent bubble that you can download, and you can put it on a plate and then stick it on top of like a structure of some kind and make it look like there's bubbles. I'm going to be using that in my build for my wind area. So I'm going to definitely save this one. Just wanted to show this creator. All right, and then I found this one that is the lava rocks. It doesn't have the end pieces, which is kind of a bummer, but I can make it work. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it because I really like the way it looks to me. So I'm going to go ahead and download this one as well by link. So yeah, just so you know, let me put this up so you can see them up close. This is by, again, that person named Link. All right. All right, my next one is this little cloud one. I actually really like the way this looks, and it turns the ground blue all around it, and also has a way of like shaping these in all different shapes and stuff. So I'll show you the rest of them when I save this one, but I just wanted you to see the code there. Let's put that in there, and then let's go back to the choices. So see how you can kind of like, you can add these little pieces here to kind of maybe tack onto that or whatever, and kind of round different areas. So I'm not going to download these. I think it's a pathway that I'm not wanting, but I will download the rest of the blue and cloud. I may have to do a different one if this one doesn't work out, but I think I see all the top, middle, bottom pieces and all that jazz. So I'm gonna try it, and we'll just see how it kind of turns out. But I do kind of like how it's very irregular looking and stuff. So yeah, anyway, that's the one for clouds. So I'll be right back with the next one. I know, or this is the next one, and it is my dirt path. I'm just going to do the regular dirt path right here without the leaves on it, because I'm not sure exactly what season I'm going to place this in yet. And what's nice about this, though, is it has a few extra spots like this here. And I can come back and grab ones with some leaves if I would like to add it on. So it really does have a lot of variation and room to move on it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I will be right back. But there's your creator code there if you want to copy this one down. Okay, the last one I'm going to download, I'm not sure if I'll use it because I'm actually probably going to do more like in-game terraforming, but I thought I would do a lagoon one just in case I wanted to make some watery areas in our archipelago area, like our water zone. So I'm going to go ahead and download this one. I just wanted you to see this by Kara. She did a really good job on this little lagoon. So the only problem with this one is that I see is there's no skinny ones, but that's okay. I don't need them. I would probably just use smaller spots or little fill-in areas. So I don't think it's that big of a deal for me. But if someone wanted it to like snake through small areas or something like that, it could be a deal. So anyway, but if you don't mind that, this is really cool. So I'll be right back after I download that, and I'm going to show you what everything looks like on the ground. All right, so this is what all of my patterns look like so far. I still have quite a few empty spaces that we can throw in some accent pieces and things like that. So a lot of little openings, which is going to be great. But I'm happy that I found some patterns that will work in each area. And luckily only 4 separate areas, so that makes it a little easier for me, because like 20 acres, that makes it hard, because then you have to, you know, make them work in 20 different spots, and sometimes the themes are different. So this is much easier for me. I can definitely work with this. So let me get some of these on the ground and show you what they look like in person, and then we will be done with this video. Thank you so much. Okay, we are back with our little mood board on the ground. I'm just going to show you what we got. So this is our archipelago pattern on the ground. This is our little lagoon. I'm not sure how much I'll use it, but it's cute to fill in, you know. But here's some of our items, and there's our little cube light indicating the water area. And then over here is our lava pattern, which I think is super awesome. It actually reminds me of Pocopia, and I love that. And there's our little cube light. We've got some fire, and our little volcano is here ready to burst open. And then we have our little earth area here, which is going to be very hiking trail, lumberjack, tree farm situation going on. And then our cloud area, I forgot to put a castle item in here, but that's okay. But you can see the little bubble lights that go up when they're, I will change the color of the wood on that, and you won't be able to see the black parts. This is just to kind of, you know, give you a little something. But in any case, I think it's all going to work out pretty good. I'm not sure on this code yet. I'm hoping it will, you know, do really well, but we'll see, you know, how to make it work in there. And I am going to get started on our entranceway. Today we are going to start with Earth, which is one of our 4 areas. The 4 Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water are the main ones on this island, and I'm doing Earth to start with. This is the terraforming that I already kind of did ahead of time, and then now I'm putting down some path and that sort of thing. I'm trying not to really like make you watch most of that because some of that is a little boring to watch, so I thought I would try to get a little ahead of the game and do some of that in the evening time while I was just kind of hanging out. And then the pathway, I just thought, you know, I'll kind of show you it in small stages so you can kind of see as I go, but I need to make a path going all the way up here. I want to go ahead and put in Fauna's house so that we can figure out where the path needs to kind of end up here, and I also need to put Grizzly up by there where the edge of the area is. So we're popping in Fauna, and her house is going to go down here. Now she's going to be our meadow. So we're going to have a little meadow going on for Fauna. And then, because I always envision, you know, deer there. I talk about this a lot, but throughout the video, I'm sure. But Fauna always reminds me of Bambi, and Bambi lived in a meadow and all of that jazz. So anyway, yeah, it's a repeated theme for me when I'm thinking about her. And then once I get Fauna's place in here, I figured I probably need to go ahead and get Maple's house in, because she's going to be there's going to be 2 bears and a deer. The other bear is Grizzly. You know, he's in the back, and he's like the lumberjack of this area. And then over to the left of Fauna is going to be Maple, and she's going to be the one that operates the tree farm. So we got this path in going up to Fauna's house. Now I'm going to go ahead and get Maple's house in, and then I can go ahead and get some of the pathway done that's going to go to her house. But this looks like a good spot here, so we're going to drop that. And the other one is, again, Grizzly, so we're going to throw Grizzly in the back here. He is our lumberjack. There'll be a little area next to his house where you can see he's been logging and taking care of the trees and all of that sort of thing. So it'll work out pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the path areas that are going to head up to both Grizzly's house, Fauna's house. Just kind of connect all these little areas together. So Maple's house has this pathway that goes from her house, and then it goes all the way up over to Grizzly's house. So they're kind of connected, and his house isn't quite moved in yet, but it will be here shortly because I do a little bit of time traveling to get things moved in. And then now I need to do the pathway that goes along here. This is going to head up to a little overlook area that we're going to have to pier. So here's how this pathway is turned out, and it heads all the way over to this little overlook. That is going to be a next week Jojo problem, but because it's actually supposed to be in the wind area, but it had to come from this area to be the little hiking path, so I figured it worked out, you know. So then I'm going to go ahead and throw down a bunch of bushes and flowers and trees. I want to get all of the greenery and things down. I want it to be very, very much lush and taken care of over here and looking really pretty. And so we're gonna just plop down a bunch of nature in here and get that, you know, going. And then once I get the trees, the bushes, the flowers, and everything put in, I will go back and kind of add some of the items that we have. But yeah, just plopping in trees really. And you can see there was a lot of tree placing in here. I wanted different sizes just to give it a little bit of variation. I think it really helps everything look a little more natural if all the sizes of the trees are not all the same. There's Phoebe hanging out. She's supposed to be in the fire realm over there, but no, she's hanging out over here in the nature earth area. Because why? Because there's nothing else on this island. So all of the villagers start coming over here and putting their nose in my business. Maple's over here because she obviously lives over here. But yeah, they're all just paying their visits over here. All the bugs start coming in. I mean, it's amazing once you start putting things down on the island, how everything just converges on that one area. It kind of cracks me up. Even the bugs are just like, yo, thanks for putting down that flower. I now have a place to spawn. But before that, they're just flying aimlessly across the island like we don't know what to do. There's nowhere to land. There's no trees. There's nothing. So it's funny. But I am also putting down some fencing now along the way. I really love the country fencing. I think it matches in well with the nature of the earth area here. I figured earth could really pretty much be anything. So it could be just tons of natural things for the environment and really anything that nature provides, honestly, on the earth. But in this respect, I just wanted to make it more of a natural, beautiful type area where people would want to hang out. And now that we got this in, I put in some mushy items here and there, and I have the start of the meadow, I'd say. I was just trying to kind of take a little look at the land and see. I don't want to put as many flowers around the entire area as I am here, because the meadow I really think needs to have like a lot of flowers. So, but I am throwing in just a few other things in addition so that it does add a little bit more than just trees and flowers and bushes, because that could get a little old to look at, you know. So I definitely wanted to use different variations of trees as well. So I do have like the pine tree in my pocket and things like that I'm going to use. But again, we're going to go ahead. This area over here, by the way, that I'm working in is where Grizzly's house is. And he's going to be a lumberjack. So I need a ton of trees and tree parts and stuff over here where he'll be working. So you'll see that there's Grizzly right there. I'm just making a tree farm now for Maple. I kind of go back and forth. I sometimes get a little bored with different areas as I'm working on them, so I kind of need to go around and like shift it around, or else I will get like a little bit tired of what I'm doing. So it definitely is nice to just kind of float around from one side to the other or whatnot. And so in this respect, I wanted Maple to have the tree farm. And so during the holidays and stuff, she sells her little Christmas trees here, but then also can sell some of the firewood that Grizzly is cutting back there in the logging area. And she also can sell like little plant starters and things for tree, you know, getting trees. I don't know, whatever, however you want to slice it. You'll see when I put her stuff together, but I'm just kind of trying to, you know, make it look like it's something that would belong over here with her. And I did put a little fencing in the front. Oh, she's so happy back there. Isn't that so cute? I love it when they're happy. I hate it when they're running around with like the mean, angry stomping and they're so sad and someone's been mean to them or whatever. So I love it when they're actually happy and sing-songy, because that means they probably got a compliment from another villager and it's really cute. So I didn't ask her though. I just let her bop around with her little music notes, being all cute and sassy over there. So, but her house is good colors. I am probably going to have to do HHP, but it is going to depend on the colors of the villager houses that I'm moving in in all the other areas. Like, I can't remember what color Phoebe's house is, or Rodeo. I think Rodeo has a black house. I realized I needed some planks over here, by the way, which is why I'm looking at my phone. And so I happened to be just searching for planks, and look what I brought up. Kaylee from Offlinea. Is that not the cutest thing? I didn't even try to look for that. It just came up while I was hunting planks. So I went ahead and added Kaylee's code to the repertoire for the island, for all our little list of our little designs. And it's super cute. Like, it's adorable. It turned out great. Kaylee, good job. Thumbs up. I appreciate it. Anyway, it's the perfect color too. I wanted it that deeper, darker blue that kind of, and black, oh my gosh, brown, hello, I can't talk, that matches the color of the trees, trunks, and also like the log items and things like that. So like that one, like just matchy match a little bit, try to bring those colors into it. So now I'm just kind of adding, I put a few things in my pocket and I'm throwing them around different spots. And then I kind of come back and add something new and throw that around and just stuff like that, because my pocket space was limited since I had so many trees and flowers and bushes in there. I didn't have enough room for like all the items that I would like to use. So I kind of just went around putting down certain ones, and then I would come back and get more and put more down and so forth. And then all these trees are not staying the way they are. I wanted to put a bunch in, and then I'm going to come back in and cut some of them down. That way it looks like a big wood cutting area. But I just wanted to show you what I was up to so you could kind of see how it all comes together. I wasn't the hugest planner. I kind of knew what I wanted to do once I figured out which villagers I was going to have and stuff. That really helps. So I just kind of go with what kind of feeling they give me or whatever, like what I think they'll look good as here and stuff like that. So, but Grizzly is definitely my favorite little lumberjack in this game. He wears the red and black plaid shirt, which is almost like a universal sign for lumberjack. And then I'm just putting down a bunch of the wild logs so that it looks like there's trees that have fell in here. And so that's the whole point of those, is it just like he's been chopping trees down. And actually Lumi Moons did that on one of her islands a long time ago. Not that long ago, maybe a year or two ago. And I remember seeing that and thinking just how smart it was and cool. And I know she had seen it with some other creator as well before she did it, and she did credit them or whatever, but I'm just saying that's where I saw it, was with Lumi. So if you have not checked her out, by the way, she is such a sweetheart, so much fun to watch. She has a bunch of Animal Crossing content on her channel, but she also has started doing Pokopia, and I adore Pokopia. It's so much fun. And she's adorable. She loves it also. She also loves Disney Dreamlight Valley and Minecraft. Like, she's a lot of fun. So I think you're going to start seeing some variety over there, and I think it would be a lot of fun to watch. So just check her out. She's super underrated, and I don't find that a lot of people watch her as much as they should. So get over there. Check her out. Subscribe. Lumi Moon Plays, okay? You gotta check her out. She is just absolutely adorable. So, anyway, we are progressing on a little bit more here, and now I've decided to put a big cave back here. This is kind of the line where this little area ends. So I thought a cave would look kind of cool. I'm gonna kind of hide it behind a bunch of different trees and stuff. But for now, I just wanted to get like some stuff to fill it in, make it look still like natural land, that kind of thing. And I figured, why not throw in a nice cave back here? Bears live in caves anyway. However, you know, Teddy and Grizzly and Maple and all those cute bears in Animal Crossing get cute homes. So Grizzly isn't living in this cave, but we'll just pretend that maybe that was his childhood home back there, and then he moved into a house. So that totally makes sense, right? I think so. It makes sense to me. And then we're moving along to put in a little bit more filler. I use some of these pine trees just to add a little different tree look. And I feel like it kind of fills in some of the empty space between trees and in the background a little more, and also puts a little extra different color in there. So it's really nice. I'm also not sure if the season that we're in right now is going to be the one we finish in. I know it's not going to be winter on this island. However, I do want to kind of progress through and see what all the seasons look like and pick my favorite. But for right now, this is what we're probably going to end up with, is being kind of a summertime. It started to rain pretty heavily while I was doing this decorating this day. So it was a little bit annoying, but I was just determined to kind of get it done, or get done what I could on this day. And so I went ahead and just kept progressing through and finishing it up. So I'm decorating the top of the hill right now and just throwing down a little bit more nature and decorative items, trying to, you know, fill in the spaces. I don't want it too tall because honestly you can't really see much of it when you walk in. So it doesn't really make sense to make it towering high. That's actually the problem I had before. So I just kind of had to keep it a little lower so that you could see it from the entrance when you walk in and stuff. I also decided to fill in with some of these giant vines. They are a little whimsical, but I really like them. I think they're really cute. And we are playing, you know, a video game. So I don't think there's anything wrong with throwing a little whimsical in there. And they're adorable. So I'm not mad at it at all. So anyway, we're gonna go finish up this area, and then I'll probably be on the next day, hopefully a little bit more bright sun and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and travel and get to that point, and then I will be right back here in just a moment. All right, I am back. I have done a little bit in this land, as you've been seeing. So now I'm trying to figure out what to do in these little empty spots. I went ahead and put, you know, a well and some logs and a little log seat down, stuff like that. And then over here, we need to make her a little tree farm sales area right here. And here's her little tree farm. So I want to put a little like for sale sign or something like that here. And then this is going to be the lumberjack area for Grizzly, who is living in this little house here, which is nice. I put a little cave back here. And I'm trying to fill in with like some different trees as well, like the pine trees back here, you know. So yeah. Fauna's got her little meadow. This is Fauna's meadow. I wanted to have a lot of flowers and things in her area, but I do need to put some more flowers over here for Maple because I want it to still look cute and pretty. So down here, like in the little corners and stuff, I will definitely fill in with more bushes and flowers and such to make it look gorgeous. So for now, I'm gonna go and see if I can search for a few more things. I want to put some bugs, butterflies, and things along the pathway so that it looks like nature is also enveloped in this land. And then I do have my walkway above here that is going to head over to this direction, that's going to go see our other land, which will be a big old something back there. So I just wanted to make sure I could see it because it's going to be a viewing point. This land here ends, see where that little dash line is down below the dirt? That's where this dirt land ends, this earth land ends, sorry. So the next part up here is wind. So we're gonna have earth and wind straight up from each other. And then, yeah, so I need to just decorate a little bit on this walkway. And then I also need to finish up this side over here where we've got a lot of areas to fill in as well. I'm not sure what to put in all this section here. I'm thinking This over here is our, I think it's going to be our fire section. I'm not sure. And then this section is still part of our earth section, as is this section back here that just goes up to this little, where's the dash? Where's the dash? Up here. So I need to fill in a lot of areas and things like that. So I definitely want to be able to just make it look nice and green and lush. The idea is that it's the earthy part of us, so plants and, sorry Maple, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to push you. Earth, flowers, the bugs, the things that, you know, live here on Earth, but also it's Animal Crossing, so we just have to do our best to make it look pretty, you know what I mean? But I do want a little bit of open space. I need to find a good code that's just a little bit of a filler code, I guess. But at the same token, I don't have a lot of spaces because I do have 4 lands, and each land has a big 9-piece or more set. So it's going to be kind of hard to do that. And I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do in the back there for the wind, because that one's going to be kind of difficult. So in any case, let me go ahead and get underway with this. Let me go grab a few things that we need, and I'll be right back. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put down a lot of these plants and things that are in my pockets so that we have the trees, the plants, the flowers that are going to be down in each area. And that way I can get that stuff out of my pockets, and then I can fill up with items and kind of fill in the different spaces that need those. I want to go ahead and extend this down one more because, oh my gosh, I'm not taking a picture. I like this wood area, but I don't think it's quite big enough for what I was looking for. So I need to go down a little bit further and extend this out just a little bit. So, oh God, I am not standing at that much of an angle game. I really am not. Always so frustrated every time that happens. It happens a lot. Like every time for some reason it thinks I'm standing. So I am right there though. Look at me. It's me. My Joy-Cons must be acting up. That's all I can say. But let's throw down one more and this guy. And then let me take this guy out of here. I feel like we could do a little like plank walkway that goes over here, or some kind of, I guess we could just do extend the dirt walk path. I don't know. I'm undecided. We could just leave it the way it is also because, you know, it's still pretty good. So let me start throwing around some bushes and trees and such and get this all decked out so it looks kind of pretty. And then we will move on to our next portion of things. So I will be right back. All right, I put a little bit more fencing in here, put some flowers in over here. I don't want to put too many on this side because this is not our meadow. Okay, and then we're going to head on this direction. I still don't know what to do over in here, in this little area. What do I do? Maybe more flowers, eh? It is a meadow, right? Am I wrong? Okay, I don't know, but we're going to put a few more flowers. Let me put a bush or two in here. We'll see how it ends up. I don't know, but I'm just going to throw in the flowers. We're going to go ham on the flowers. I could do a few weeds too. Let me see. We plant a weed, flower. We got to do some variation. But I mean, this island is seriously like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have too many of the same thing around each other. Weird. That's getting a little crazy, but you know what? I guess we'll really make it a flower meadow. How about that? No shade. No shade on the flower meadow. Let me put some more weeds in here. That's a good one. Let's do that one, I guess. Alright, that's looking kind of thick. I like it. Did I run that over or did a new one grow? A new one grew in. Crazy town. Okay. Things will just really grow in, like no matter if you want them to or not, right? It's just like kablam. There it is. All right, let's get that filled in a little bit. Then it won't keep growing in these rogue flowers. I think we'll stop it like about here, just so that it's not like a bombardment of, you know, all these things. But I do think I like the idea of all these flowers just being smacked in here, because it's kind of what this area is supposed to be for fauna. Wait, that's not right. Let me do the green mum in there. Yeah. All right, and then I think we could do a couple more weeds, like maybe around this area. Do a couple, hopefully they're different. Yes, they are. Thank you, game. We could do another little bush right there. I think that would look nice. No idea what colors we have going on in here, but whatever. And then I'm thinking, what if we did a little log stool right next to this other thing hanging out here, this other wild log? That would be yet another place to sit. I mean, you can sit on the tree too, honestly. So, but in any case, gosh, I wish you could jump over things in this game. That is one thing that's kind of nice in the Pokopia, is you can just jump over stuff and you don't have to worry about it being in your way. You're just like, I'm just gonna jump over here. It's all good. Let me get this in there. Nope, no more room for a flower. Okay, sounds good. Let's get back, shimmy our way back over here. All right, we don't have enough green mums in this area, I'm noticing. So let's do that. We also don't have enough of my, oh, of course that had to go right next to it. Lame. Game, why can't you read my mind? Why can't you read my mind? Oh, and there's mums everywhere over here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna have to move a few things. Okay, let me move a couple of these. Let's see. Let's move that one out of that way, and we'll put in, what are we gonna put in instead? I don't know. Let's see, let's do one of these. There's not enough windflowers out here, or pink. And then we'll just, what do we throw in here? We're gonna put in, let's put a daisy, well, a Cosmo. And then over here, let's put in, there's a tulip right there, but not in white. Let's do a white tulip. Okay. All right, the meadow. Okay, I think that looks cute for her meadow. I do. I like it. It's very pretty. We've got a few natural things in there, and we've got the well and the mushy items and all that jazz. And then we head over here, and we've got to put just a few scattered flowers in here, but I don't want to do too many. So let me just do a couple of things. Let's see. Let's do a green mum here. And how about we do like a yellow one here? And let's put in, like, down in this area, a couple of flowers here. Let's do a pink. Yeah, let's do a pink mum and a white tulip. Will that go there? Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, just enough, but not too much. Okay, and then in this area here, I think I'm going to go ahead and, what should we put on this side? I think we could put in, like, maybe some things to indicate we're chopping wood, because that's coming up here too. And the tree farm, you're going to have to cut down some of these trees, right? Let me grab, let's see, I need a spare axe. Let me put down one of these log stools. It'll look like we cut down some of these trees. Let me do that. Let's do that over there. And then let's do another one like right in here. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and we'll throw down another wild log in here. And maybe a pine tree back here. There's already one there. Let me do another one on this side, and maybe a green vine, because those are awesome. So let me do this here. Beautiful. Just to add some background. Oh my gosh, look at all the... I gotta pick up all these sticks that are in the way. Okay, and let's do a green vine back here. Giant vine, sorry. That's perfect. Let me push you in. Oh, no. Let's not dig it up. Let's push it up there. There we go. push it. And then I also have the garden rocks that I've been kind of spreading around. So we could put a little garden rock like right here. I think that would look good. And then I'm trying to put them like in different directions so they kind of look like a different rock, even though they're not. But when you plop them down a certain way, they do kind of look different, right? So I think that's good. Okay, let me grab some axes. I also want to put a couple bushes along the way here. I still want it to look pretty natural, like not too much commercial look to it or whatever. So put some bushes along the edges. I'm also going to put some bushes up here. Like I say, I'm trying to get some of this stuff like out of my pockets so that I can actually decorate with items and not have these like in the way. Let's put another bush right here. And then I'm going to scatter about some more flowers in here as well, because I think it'll look nice. And then we'll also, I'm going to put a lot more trees in here, just as much as I can, because this is where we're cutting down trees. What Grizzly is collecting some wood, and I'm going to get some wood piles and stuff and some axes. So let me grab that stuff. Okay, I just wanted to show you on this walkway. I just put some simple things. I put in some bushes and flowers and kind of just made it trail along, a little bit of fencing. Got another little log seat here. Let's put one more flower in on this section. A little pink one. There we go. So there's a couple flowers in there. Some of this you can't put flowers or anything into. I also did this hill up here, so I put a little garden wagon and stuff. I want to put a little bit more up there, but it wasn't really accepting too many sized items, you know. I'm gonna see if I can get a giant vine up here somewhere. Oh my gosh, can I not get up? I cannot get in there. Of course I cannot. What is back here, by the way? I haven't put any bugs anywhere yet, and I said I was gonna put bugs. I need to do that as well. So we're gonna have to go grab some bugs, throw those in. Those will be like a last minute addition. Let me see if I can get one of the giant, let me move this first. It's not gonna go in there if I do that. Let's see if the giant vine will fit back here. I doubt it, but you never know. Sometimes miracles happen. It did. It's a miracle. I love that. I like how lush it makes things feel. I know some people don't love that giant vine, but I really do. Okay, and then we're gonna put in a couple of bushes and things over here. See what we can fit in here, of course. So I'm a big filler person. I want to have everything filled in, looking lush and beautiful. Oh, I didn't really want that there. I don't like it on both sides of the tree like that. I feel like it looks too, I don't know, too uniform, I would say, would be my statement there. Let's put one back here. I want the back to look full too, even though it's not going to be. And then we'll go ahead and put some more, let's see, what other small, ooh, let's put a rock. Let's put a garden rock right here. Nope, not a log stool. Not that either. That won't fit anyway. That guy. Let's do that. That's perfect. And we'll put a couple flowers down here for color. So I'm going to put my butter. And we're going to put one of these little dudes. And maybe let's do a white mom. Let's do that. Perfecto. Okay. So that part's filled in. Now we have this whole section here and back here that I gotta figure out what to do with. Yeah, this is the line to go to the next section, so I don't have to do that. We've also got this little baby part back here that has to be all filler. Filler is a B word, y'all. It really is a B word. Okay, so I'm gonna throw down like a lot more of those pine trees, vines and such. It needs some floral additions up here though. This looks really boring. Let me hop up. All right, so yeah, I mean, this looks really bare and boring, right? Let me see, do I have I do have a pole. Okay, let me pull on over there. Let me pull. It's not letting me jump. Oh, there we go. I was like, I don't have any other way of getting over here. It won't let me in from the bottom, I don't think either, because I don't have room. Let's see, in the pink, let's do that. Okay, let's go back over. Oh, that was easy jump. Okay, never mind. Never mind, I'm making things way harder than they have to be. Okay, let's throw in a few of these guys. Oh, I'm not over enough. Okay, sorry. That, and let's do that one. Yes, okay, perfect. I like that. I still need to get something back over there, but I don't think it's gonna let me, so that's fine. We're gonna climb up here and get a little more color up on this hill, a few more bushes and things, because, you know, we need to be lush. We need to be lush. All right, can I get anything in over here? Let's see. Let's get one of those guys. No. Mean, Nintendo, mean. Okay, how about here? Let me face this way. Can you go in there? Yeah. Okay. That makes me happy. Let's see. How about a green mum up here? Because, you know, green is good. And then let's see if I can get, how about a bush like right here? I want it in the middle, not like attached to the other thing. There we go. Okay, okay. And then, oh no, could we get like a, no, you know what? Let's just fill in some flowers up here so they're not too high up and hard to reach and stuff like that. And then let's put some blue, and how about a nice white tulip? No, will not one go right here? No, that's kind of a bummer. Let me push you this way. How about that? And then we'll put some here, because that would be nice. All right, and then what other one? How about a pink mum? That's nice. I like that. Will anything go here? I just always have to keep trying, right? How about a pink windflower? Yay! Okay, I like that very much. Oh my gosh, now am I not going to be able to get out? There we go. Whew, whew. It's always a struggle. The struggle is real. Okay. And then over here, let's see, that part is done. This tree will not let you plant too much next to it. But let me go on the other side of it, where Ione's hiding, by the way, and climb up here and see if I can put, like, just squish a flower in back here. I have to be able to do it, right? I did. Can it do two? Is it going to be nice or no? Whoops, I don't want that one. Pink mum, maybe? It did. Okay. It's not going to let me do it here in the middle, though, because of that pine tree. That's unfortunate. But at least we have a little bit of color popped in there. Okay. And then now I feel like we just need to figure out this whole situation right here. And we need to figure out this chunk. This is a big chunk. I don't really know what to do with it. So we've got to figure this out. What else? You know what? Maybe we should do like in here we could do like a little bike parking area or something like that. And then over here we could do, what else would be in like a area where you kind of hike around and stuff? I guess I could extend our hiking trail so it goes along the lake like that, or the little river like this, and comes over this way and then connects up with that trail. And then over here we could do like maybe a little picnic area. That would be really cute. We'll do some picnic tables all spread around. Instead of having picnic on the ground, we'll do a picnic on the picnic tables. So let me try that out for size and see. Let me grab my stuff. All right, I got my path in. So we went ahead and put this little pathway in that goes along the river here. Just gives people a little like place to, I don't know, ride their bike or something like that. And so now I'm going to go ahead and put down, I thought I'd put down some of Kaylee's, which is also, I didn't realize, but did you know that this pattern I'm about to use, that is Kaylee Games, also was designed by April Honey, and she put out a little tutorial on how to do it. And then that's what Kaylee used to make this. So just FYI, like if you guys ever wanted to do this yourself and not, you know, use someone else's code, that's how she did it. Is she borrowed that idea from her, which, you know, April always gives gives her tutorials out to people, which I don't want this down so low. Yeah, so she gives her tutorials for free so that people can create them on their own islands themselves. So that's how I also did some things on a couple of my other 30-day challenge islands where I had to make my own patterns. I couldn't go online, and it was really helpful. So if you ever need that, just FYI, I'm like plugging her because she's amazing and a really great teacher. So I'm going to use these two areas to make the little picnic spots where we're going to put down some picnic benches. Oh my gosh, those did not go over where I wanted them to go. Let's see, we'll go 3 down. Is that how big this one is? I think so. I don't know. We're going to try to make them somewhat comparable, but you know, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to put this spot so that we can put our little picnic table on top of it. And then I'm thinking, you know, we could do a little pine, couple of trees around it, you know, and in the middle of these two so that we have a little bit of that going on. So that'd be good. Hi, Balloon. If Robinski was here, she would be saying that right now with that little balloon coming by. All right, let's plop down some trees. Let's see, I got a cedar tree. Let's see if it'll fly in there. It does. Nice. All right, and then let's put another tree over here wherever we can get it. I want to do a hardwood, I do believe. I'm not far enough away from the river. I knew that. Duh. Okay, there's one. I think we could squeeze a second tree like in maybe like right here, but I want to put a smaller one. Let's put a medium young right there. Yeah. Different sizes for the trees are good. Makes it look real, you know, like real life stuff going on here. All right, throwing in our apple to make sure that does not grow up to be a big boy. I don't think I can fit another tree in here without getting in the way of all this nonsense. So, but we can, let's see, walk through. Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure this, I feel like this could go back one. Let me eat this and move this tree back one because, I don't really love it right there. Let me go one more back. Like right here. Will it go there? Please say it will go there. Please. Wait. Hello? I think it flew down here. Hardwood, right? It did. Yay! I just wanted to pause here and thank this rock for being an extra in my video today because it's actually in a very good spot and I appreciate it. So I just thought I would mention that as I'm putting in some more pathway up in this direction. I figured we could have a little path going behind the resident services because, you know, it's probably going to be a well-traveled, you know, area of the villagers and myself. So might as well make it easier on all of us and make it easy to travel through and also, you know, filler. Because this island is vast and big and each section is large. I don't know if you noticed, by the way, but I am trying to get each of my quadrants done in one per video. So that means I am going to have this island done within 4 weeks because I'm going to release one video per week. And so just so you know, I do believe that this section should be done today. And then we will move on to the next. Oh my gosh, that is not where we wanted it. Then we'll move on to the next section, which would be, gosh, we'll probably do wind next time, just because I already have in my mind what I'm going to do over there. I actually have in my mind what I'm going to do in every section. But I kind of already decorated that section and then it didn't work where I had it laid out, and I was going to restart my entire island. And then my friends were like, no, you can make it work. And so this is me making it work. So we're going to end up putting it in the back of the island. It was going to go in the front of the island, but you couldn't really see it. And so that is why I got frustrated, because I couldn't really see it from the viewpoint of coming in. I really should have had resident services far, far away. And instead it's somewhat close to the beginning of this island. So that takes us down to here, which is good. There's only one way in and out of resident services now. Well, I guess you can go around the back this way, but this is really the only access point, and you can't even really walk over here without jumping over to this section. I probably should put a little bridge over there or something. I might do that, because that's going to be a lot of water. And then I filled in, oh my gosh, Jojo can't walk. I filled in all these sections here, and I put my little wood areas and some more trees, and then of course we have the pathway, like I said. So now I will actually go grab the tables and stuff that I need, and also the things to go for my lumberjack area, and the things to go for the tree sales area, you know, where we're gonna be selling in our tree farm. Okay, I am back. Let's just finish up putting some stuff out here. So I want to put down this little wooden box here, because I figure that's a good spot. And then we're going to put some stacks of wood on top of that. So put a little firewood there. I think that looks good. Let's put a little more firewood over here too. We're going to have it all over the place, because Bra is cutting some wood for sure. And then over here we'll throw... let's see, let's throw down a little bit more wood there. I do want to put an axe on top of this guy, so let's do this. Place item. Beautiful. Let's turn that so you can actually see the joy of the axe right there, right? Okay, and then over here, let's put another axe, because I'm sure that there's just a lot of wood cutting going on out here, right? So there's that. Okay, and then let's put a little bit more stacks of wood in between, because I feel like it's necessary. Right here, firewood. We'll do it a little different direction here. Let me turn it so it kind of looks like we've got it stacked out here. We're making firewood for everyone. Put a little bit more in the middle here. It's definitely a woodworker's paradise over here, right? Okay, and then we'll put a little bit more firewood in here, so that will work out. Okay, we've got a lot of wood cutting going on back here, so you can see whatever trees are not purchased at the tree farm during that time of year, then they get turned into the wood products. Now over here, I'm thinking, let's go ahead and put just a few more flowers in to just make this have a little color back here. I don't want it to be too crazy, but I definitely want there to be some scattered flowers about in there, and also some weeds. So, and I'm actually not mad if these weeds want to go crazy in here, because, whoops, I'm not going to be able to get... I'm just going to get trapped. I'm not going to be able to get in here without using these as pass-throughs. All right, so let me put in a little bit more weeds in here. We'll put a little Cosmo, throw a few more, let me see. Yeah, let's throw a few more of these flowers back here. Just one or two, you know, like they're scattered in here. I'm even leaving that. I see that, and I'm just leaving it. That's a piece of wood that got cut. I don't care. Like, it fits, right? I think it does. All right, let's put a little green mum back here too, just to bring that in. Maybe we'll put one more little white hyacinth up in here, just to kind of get all that filled in with a tiny bit of color. Okay, and then we have our little caved area in here. It's overgrown. I put some flowers over by his house. We've got all of our axes and such. I'm going to put a few more weeds in here so that they can go to town. I don't mind if they grow in. I really don't. I kind of want it to look kind of overgrown by the end of this, because I feel like the forest is kind of overgrown. And then over here, we're going to go ahead and get our little area here where we're going to make our purchase of our tree farm. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our stall put in right here, and it's just going to be a simple stall. I did put the symbol of the earth on it to kind of show you that, you know, that's the section of the land that we're in. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. We'll put a couple of them, and then I want to put a cash register on top of this thing. So let's go ahead and put it, you know what, I probably need to do it from this side, honestly, in all honesty. Let's put it over here. It's easier for me to get to, by the way. All right, and then I want to put a few like potted plants and stuff in here. So let me get those in there. All right, so here, let's go ahead and put some of these potted starter plants. And then in this section, I wanted to just drop a little sapling. Whoops, oh my gosh, that is not what I want to do. So I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to drop it. See, yes. And then over here, I thought we could put some of our firewood. So you could purchase firewood as well. So I thought that would be good to put that there. And then we can go ahead and put like one of these crates down and put a little bit more firewood over on these areas here. Let's do that. And then on this side, let's put another crate over here. Little wooden box. Oops. I want it a little bit closer, and maybe a little kitty corner here. And then on the top of that, we can go ahead and put in some potted starter plants too. I think that would be cute. Let me turn it though. I want the crisscross showing on it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. I like that. I kind of feel like I need a little sign that says like tree farm or something like that. So I might go ahead and grab that and put that here. And then let's see, I do feel like we need a little bit more in this area. I'll probably go ahead and put one of those big giant pine trees in here. Let me see if I can get this to fit. Oh, it's quite big. Let me back it up. There we go. Oh, it went in sideways. Ding dong. Ding dong. Okay, turn it. There we go. Push that back as far as we can. I think that's about as far as we're gonna go. And then let's see, I don't think I have room. Do I have room for a giant vine? I don't think so. They take up, I could put one like right here. I could. Let me try it here. Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's good. And then we can go ahead and throw in just a few more flowers along the front end of this. I think that would be pretty and kind of just give this a little color, you know. So let's do a little bit of these, and then we'll do a couple of them over here. We can do some weeds too, because I think weeds are good. And we'll put a little hyacinth in there, and how about one of these green mums? And then over here, let's put one more flower. How about a blue windflower? That works. Bring our blue back over there too. And then same goes for in here. Let's just put like a couple of flowers right here on the edge. We'll do a little pink mum, my favorite hyacinth. That's perfect. And maybe a couple weeds in here just for good measure, right? And then I think I'm gonna put a little bit of fencing in just to add in our little country fence on this side. So I'll go ahead and throw a little bit along here. Let's see, we have to go this direction, but it'll straighten out. As long as you start it flat, then it will end up flat as long as you end flat, like that. So that's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and put one here because careful about the water. You know what I mean? Like we wanna be careful. And then I don't wanna really block the path here, but I think it would be cute to have some of the fencing along here. So I'll go ahead and just fence that in over here, but I am gonna leave this open so you can walk out. Let me see, can we walk this way? Yes, so let me put one more. I think that's a nice filler area for that. So definitely it looks pretty cute. Then as far as our meadow, I think that's looking very nice and full of flowers. So I think we've done justice to that. This side now, we have to go in and put our little picnic tables in. I didn't grab any food yet, so I do need to grab that, but I wanted to make sure I had all the filler items in here first. But let me go ahead and put down our table. So we're gonna put down picnic table over here. I think we'll go this direction. Let me pull it, let me pull it back one. And then let's see, let's do our one side over here first. Whoops, hello. So we're gonna go ahead and put these little log bench here. Yes. Let's do this side too, just so we get them both done and I can get through, because I'm just envisioning me trying to get back over here and maybe not so much. So let's do the log dining table here. And then can I get the bench in here? That would be great. Right here. Beauty, yay. And then we'll put the bench in here. Nice. Okay, I love that. So that's perfect. And then now I'm gonna go grab the food that I wanted to put in there. And oh, I have this little log, just mush log. I thought that would be cute to put in over here. Also a place we could maybe stick a little picnic basket or something like that. And yeah, so that'll kind of join that in. Now I can't get out though, however. Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to get out. Oh, okay, let me pick this up. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay, picked it up, and then let's throw it down right here, back where it was, and we'll kind of just move that in that way. Perfect. And then we're gonna jump across here because, you know, trying to get across there. I will put some flowers in on this side. I think it would look nice to have a little bit of that worked in. I did not do that, but I don't want to do too many. So we'll just do a little blue pink. Let me do a yellow in here too. Let's do that. Perfect. Okay, let me just go grab my food, and then I think we might be done with this whole area, which you all, do you even understand? This is 5 acres at once. Let me look at this. So see that whole bottom triangle, that whole bottom section, 1/4 of the island complete. I'm so excited about it. Okay, so anyway, I'll be right back. All right, I got my food now. Let me take off this helmet because we're pretty much done with that. I don't think I need to do any more terraforming or anything, which is nice. So we'll get that done. And then I want to put down my, I don't know if this will work, but we have this, I've never tried putting the outdoor picnic set up here. There's no room. Oh no. Hang on, let me try turning it. Will it go this way? No. Oh, that's so sad. I guess it has to go on the ground. Okay, well, then we're just gonna do the picnic basket. So let's throw that down there, and we'll go ahead and put a little bottle of water. Let me see right here. Do that. Right, and let me turn it, and then I'm gonna turn it this way, and we're gonna do another bottled beverage here, and we're going to also put a snack on this table as well. And spoiler alert, probably gonna be on the same other table as well. So let's do that. Perfect. Okay, and then let's go over here. Maybe we can make it look a little bit different, you know, just possibly. So let me turn it. So let's put the picnic basket over on this side. That's really unfortunate about the outdoor picnic set. Like, why, Nintendo? Why could it not go up there? You can put the science exam thing on a big one. Why can't you do that? I don't understand. Anyway, okay, and let's throw this over here. Let's go ahead and do a bottled beverage on this side. And no, that's not exactly not where we wanted it. Okay, bottled beverage. Perfect. And then over here, let's do one of these other chips. just for good measure. You know, we're hungry. We're hungry over here, up in here. Up in here? Wait, let me turn it this way. There. Then at least it looks a little different when you approach it. Yeah, okay, that's good. That is good. Okay. I could possibly put the little picnic set like right here. Like someone just copped a little squat down here. No, not that. Not that either. How dare. How dare you? I do this a lot. This is my commentary the entire time. If I'm not yelling at the screen, I am not Jojo. Okay. You could do that, right? And someone could be like having a little picnic right here. That's kind of cutie. Yeah. In the dirt. You know, why not? And then I'm going to go ahead and leave a little water bottle here because, you know, we're hungry. We're thirsty. We're on the trail. All right, last thing I want to add is a couple of cruiser bikes around because I feel like if you're on this little hiking trail and stuff, we are going to definitely be riding our cruiser bikes. So I'm going to get a couple of those and we're going to just put a couple along the pathway. So let me grab that. Okay, I have my bikes. We're going to go ahead and throw a couple of those down just so we get the idea. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and throw, let's see, a cruiser bike here. Oh, that's not quite the way I wanted it to go. I was kind of hoping it would fly in the other direction. So where did that go? Did it fly up here? Where are you? There. Of course, they always fly in a different section. Okay. Whoa. Oh. Hello. Oh no. Okay, push. There we go. All right, I just want it to be more up against that. Nook's Cranny is really in the way of this build. Y'all aren't going to be able to see it very well. Okay, and then I thought we could do like just a regular, you know, one of those regular mountain bikes. We could put that like coming along. Again, not the direction I wanted it. Let's try it this way. Kind of want one going one direction and the other two going the other way. Thought that would be kind of cutie. There we go. That one's riding that way. And then what if we had this one just kind of hanging out right here? Like they parked, they're having their little picnic lunch, and then they're going to get going again soon. So let's put their cruiser bike over here. Like that. There we go. They're parked. So let me move it up just... No, of course not. Not gonna be easy. Okay, grab it. Let me try it again. Try again. All right, perfect. Thank you. No. This way. Let's pull it this way. Just, no, it won't. Okay, it's sitting there. Y'all, it's staying there because Jojo is no longer fighting with that. All right, let me keep going. This back part I need to check into just to make sure that it looks okay. Because if we need a little something, I do have something. Oh, I think we're good. I think we're good. I mean, it could use some flowers over here, right? It's looking a little colorless. Yeah, let me put some flowers in it. Well, I don't think a flower will go here, will it? No, it will not. Okay, because Nintendo's mean right there with the spacing. Let me throw in anything that will fit here. Beautiful. Okay, and then let's go back here and just fill in this little area. We'll put in some blue, put in some yellow, green. How about a little white? Beautiful. Just a little splash of color, you know, and then same back here. So let's put in our pink. Let's put in our little blue hyacinth. How about a white tulip? Yellow. Yeah, let's do the yellow here. And how about a weed? Let's do some weeds. No more? Yeah, I think that's all it's gonna fit in there. Cool. Okay, and then right here, let's put in like just a couple of these. Let's do a white and a pink. Oh wait, there's no more spots because of that thing in there. That's fine. All right, I think that's good. Let's go take a tour of our area. I'm so excited. Okay, BRB. Okay, we're gonna start at the front of the island, and this is our little entrance area here. And then if we go to the left, this is where our villagers are, and we're gonna head this direction. So first of all, we have Fauna's house. She lives in the meadow. She is obviously a deer, and I always think about Bambi and meadows, and that's where, you know, Fauna might live. And then if we continue over this direction, we've got Maple. She is in charge of our tree sales. I never did get a sign for it, but I think we're okay. We kind of can figure it out, right? But this is Maple and her little area. She's in charge of this big tree farm right here. And then if we continue up north, I'd say, into Grizzly's area, this is where Grizzly the lumberjack works, and he works on all the trees and cutting wood for the island and anybody else who might need it or want to purchase it. And then as we come down here and come back to the front, we're going to head over to the little walkway that goes to the back. And so this one is just our little path. We've got a little hilltop over here with some waterfalls. And then we're gonna head on back this direction. And this is going to give us a little perspective at a later time. But for right now, this is where the little walking path ends on this edge. And then we're going to head down over around the back side, or the right side, I should say. This is our little bike trail. We've got our view of our waterfalls and such over here. We've got our little camping, our picnic area. I went ahead and opened it up so you could actually walk over here, because I was looking and I'm like, it's not gonna work out very well if people wanna come look. But this is our little area, and there's some trees and stuff back there. And then if we continue down the bike trail this way, this will be another realm right here, but or another area that I'm going to work on. But the back side over here, we've just got filled in with some trees, flowers, bushes and things. And then I'm gonna put a bridge right here. So, but that's gonna be more of a part of the other one over here. So in the meantime, our path picks up here and it takes us to the back where the line is, where our other land is. And then you can walk around the backside of resident services and get in this way as well. So anyway, that is the end of our areas here. My little earth area. The next one we're going to do is going to be wind, and that's the back of the island where you see that museum on the map there. And then I'm not sure which ones we'll do after that, but I do have a plan, and we'll finish up those other two each on their own video as well. This was the last acre that we worked on over here, which was earth. And today we're going to work on this big old giant triangle at the top of my map. We're doing the 4-realm challenge. This challenge was created by Nana A and Princess of Pineapples. There's a bunch of creators that are doing this. You can choose 4 seasons, 4 elements, 4 biomes. You can do any way of time traveling, treasure islands, custom codes, villagers. You can get any way you want. There's a spin of the wheel to get certain items, which I'll show you in just a minute. And 80 days to finish, April 1st through June 20th. These are the items that you can get in the spin. You have to use at least one in each of your realms in order to make that work. And spoiler alert, I forgot mine in my earth area, so I'll put that in this video. Check out the people that are involved in this down below in my description. I will put their names down there so you can check out their videos as well. This is my map as it stands and all of my villagers that we have here. And you can see the front half is all done. I do need to move Ione and Sky into place, which is going to be next to the museum up there. And this whole build is going to be wind, which is, in my opinion, like clouds, sky. So I went ahead and put my pattern down. I picked these clouds. I really like them. The white hyacinth are supposed to be kind of like the fluffiness, you know, that you would find in clouds. I don't know. It's the best we can do with what's going on here. And I figured it kind of looks like you're walking on top of the clouds and you can look down and see the land below. So that's the viewpoint that we're kind of thinking about. And I'm kind of going to build like a castle in the sky kind of situation. So that's why all this terraforming is back here. I went ahead and put that up just to get prepared so you guys didn't have to watch me do a bunch of terraforming. There's little Maple. She's been walking around this whole time with her little purse and she looks adorable. I'm not going to make a real long video this time. I thought I would try to shorten it up a little bit for you. We're going to go ahead and start with putting down some jail bars. I like to put them behind the castle items. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to put a few down because I'm going to put a few gates in the front to make it very grand. It's going to be a very, very big castle. Huge. I don't have a lot of creative ideas as far as wind goes in order to get across the wind situation. So I figured sky, clouds, things that live in the air or wind would be acceptable. You know, I probably could have done like birds or something like that, but as far as how to get the island to kind of put across wind, I wasn't sure. So the front facade of this castle is, I like the blue one. I thought it kind of resembles the color of the sky, and also my villagers are both blue and white. So we have Ione and Sky in this area. And we got some towers we're putting down and some medieval sides and different castle walls, things like that, just to build the structure up. Most of it's pretty even. There were a few things off here and there and things like that. This is the ledge behind. I don't want you to be able to see the houses or the castle at all. I mean, the houses or the museum at all. I wanted this castle to be covering all of it. It does a pretty darn good job of it by the time we get to the end of this. So that part is good. It was a lot of using the same type of things, you know, over and over again. So in lieu of you just watching me throw down things repeatedly, I just kind of clipped it so that you could see just how many items were going down, but not exactly like having to watch the whole entire process. So sometimes they snap right into place. Other times I'm having to rearrange things quite a bit, but for the most part, you know, it went in pretty well. I didn't really measure this, but I had put it together in the front of the island originally, and then realized that the airport was much too close to resident services in order to see it. So instead I decided to put it at the back of the island. That way you could walk up the slope in the front, the incline, and go across the land bridge and up into a little viewpoint area, which I'll show you later on as well. The sides here we're going to go ahead and cap off with some more castle walls. I do that on the sides of the other areas as well towards the end. This top area, the third story of it, I'm going to go ahead and put in some items that will hopefully peek over the top and you can kind of see them. It's not going to be super clear, I'm sure, but it'll at least be to where you can see the tip tops of them, and it'll kind of look like part of the roof or part of the structure of the building. So there's our little towers going in. We did a gazebo. The blue I picked to go with the rest of the building. It's kind of cool. I mean, I've gotten to where most of my castles look pretty similar, and they're also very big almost all the time. So I don't know, you've seen me build a castle at least 3 or 4 times at this point in time, if not more. Castles are fun, they're easy, they take up a lot of space. And again, this area is one of those types where it's just kind of like, what do you do with air or wind, you know? Hard to manage. So we had to kind of just go with what we could and try to make it work the way we did. So hopefully it is okay with you guys and you like it and think it looks neat. The blue castle always reminds me of Lumi Moon Plays because she loves blue. Blue's her favorite. Her hair is this color when she does her little YouTuber streamer, and anything she does, you know, any of her characters always have this kind of blue. So it kind of reminded me of her. And then I wanted to put a few of these ruined walls in here and there. And I like the frozen pillars. I thought they kind of looked, you know, crystally and clear. Something that, you know, you might find in a fantasy type area, you know. These plates that I'm putting on top of them are supposed to resemble bubbles. So, not sure if that's coming through, but I'm doing my best with that. This side over here is another way you could walk up, so I thought we better put a little like entranceway, kind of a walkway, a separation. Here's where I remembered I didn't put my little plum bouquets down, my little plum blossoms. So I went ahead and threw some down in my earth areas. Crispy told me that this is her absolute favorite item that we chose on that whole wheel. So I thought I would throw down like at least 5 or 6 of them just to make her happy. Because Crispy Crafts, you know, she was really, really happy that she got that on her wheel spin. All right, and we're gonna head up here, and I wanted to just kind of take a look at the castle, see how it looks when you run up there. And it looks pretty cool. You know, you can kind of see that really well. Look at my little villagers. It's a bug off day today, which is kind of nice for me because they don't generally bug you too much when they're doing the fishing tournament or the bug off. Matter of fact, they're more concerned with just chasing down bugs and missing them all the time. But they won't sit in your way, which is interesting. They won't sit. They're always moving. They have their little net and they're just kind of fluttering around the area. So it's a lot less intrusive, I guess. And so for this reason, it was nice that it was a bug off this day. So I didn't mind that. I wanted to get that little beach back there done up just a little bit. Still not sure if I'm going to do the beaches on this one. To be honest, I would rather not. I don't believe they really fit into the realms, nor are they necessary. There's no rules saying I have to do the beaches, and honestly, it's just a lot less stress if I don't have to. So I might not. Now, on certain islands, I really think you kind of do need to do the beaches because they fit in really well, and you know, they kind of make the build nicer. But in regards to this one, my little triangles are the main realms. So the beaches are just kind of, I don't know, they're just kind of outliers, you know. So I don't really think we're going to tie those in, but we'll see. I also am unsure if I'm going to do any HHP on this island or anything. I thought about it because, you know, certain colors need to go in certain areas. But so far, my villagers that I chose for the earth area up front, their houses worked out really well. Like, they looked great in that area. I didn't need to change a thing. The villagers' houses that are back here, also the correct colors that I needed. And so they actually were just fine. Now, obviously, their houses on the inside are not going to be done. I'm not a great interior designer anyway, so it's not going to break anyone's heart. You guys, if you've ever toured my islands and gone in there or seen me do them, they're not the best. They really aren't. You know who does really great interiors is Reb. You know, she's amazing. And Crispy Crafts. hers are really pretty when she's done. She doesn't think they're good, but they're really good. And you know who else? April Honey. April Honey does amazing interiors. She says she's garbage at them. She's not. She's a liar. Anyways, okay, we're going to move on. And did I call her a liar just now? I sure did. I sure did, and I meant it. Okay, there's my castle. I'm loving that. I mean, that thing, that's a town. That is not a castle. That is an actual, like, city on its own, man. But, yeah, it's extravagant. We're space filling. We're trying to make it look grand and cool. And so, yeah. It might just kind of look that way, but I like it. I think it's really pretty. I've always liked the castle items in this game, and I think they're nice and they're easy to use, and I'm glad they're in the game. So it's cool. What'd you guys think of your new leaf that you got from Nintendo for 25 years of Animal Crossing? I like it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of unfortunate you can't change the color, but it makes sense because, you know, the leaves in the game are green, and so it's just kind of being on par with their tags, you know, with their with the way their game is set up. But anyway, I'm grateful. I'm always grateful they're thinking of us and doing something new. I'm not going to complain that much about it. I do wish that they would come out soon with either a new DLC that you could purchase or something. I don't care. Just some kind of update. Or maybe a whole new game would be fantastic, Nintendo. Because at this point, I don't know if there's one thing I haven't done in this game. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there's some things that could be challenging that could come up that I haven't done. And I have heard friends mention some things, but I don't know that that's necessary in order to have said you've played the heck out of this game, you know. And the same items over and over again and stuff, they just kind of get a little it gets a little tedious, and it also gets kind of hard to think of new things that people haven't seen before. Even with this challenge, okay, the challenge is probably been done before by someone, maybe not necessarily a community type challenge or one that everyone joined in on, but it was definitely probably something someone did. But am I doing anything new in this challenge that no one has ever seen before? Nope. I can guarantee you have seen an earthy forested area before, which is what I did up front. You have seen a castle floating in clouds at some point in time, I'm sure. Which, by the way, I'm using the hedge standees to make clouds out of. I saw someone use these for rocket smoke. And then I did see a small post of a little baby castle with these at the very base of it, and that looked really cute. So anyway, these are my, but I'm putting them all over up here. We are floating on clouds, so I had to have a bunch. It's going to be extravagantly cloudy. So anyway, flamboyantly cloudy, crazily cloudy, every kind of cloudy you can imagine, a lot of clouds. I don't want there to be any doubt that we're up in the clouds at this point. So that's what we're doing. But anyway, back to the game and things like that. There's just only so much you can do before you kind of start to get a little burnout or bored on a game, you know. And that's kind of where I'm at. My brain is just kind of fried. And it's been there, done that, seen that on this game, like so much. But I still love it. Like, it's my heart. I will never, ever not want to, you know, play Animal Crossing, but I definitely think it's time for a little bit of a break from it here and there, just so that I can breathe a little bit and still love it, you know, not hate it. Which I never hate it, but you know what I mean, like just get tired of it and stuff. I don't really want to get tired of it. I want to always love it. So at this point, I'm not sure I couldn't ever be to that point where I would not want to play it permanently or something, but I definitely am to the point where I want to play something different. I'm loving Pokopia. You guys know that. I keep talking about it over and over again. It's a fun game. I know some people get a little seasick with it, but I'm telling you, I was too in the beginning, but it did go away. So try it if you feel like you're willing to pursue that a little bit. I recommend just giving it a try a few times. Mine went away, and now I'm used to it, and it doesn't bother me. Grizzly's on a mission. He's like, I will get a bug today. No matter what, I will get a bug today. He's kind of not going in the right direction. There's a lot more flowers to the front of the island. Tried to tell him that earlier. He's not listening, but whatever. Molly's back here too. I'm like, Molly girl, honey, there's not a lot of bugs back here, so you might want to move on. But I think they just want to be close to me because they love me. Probably the truth. Anyway, I really like whoever came up with the idea of using these little hedges as clouds, because it's really great. It's cute, trims everything kind of out and makes it look a little more whimsical, I guess. And then I used some of the glowing moss items in order to get the floaty sensation there as well. So the glowing moss boulder that's right there, I'm trying to make that look like a fluffy cloud. And then there's the glowing moss balloon. I figure that's just some of the kids' lost balloons that are floating around up here in the sky. You know, you never know where they go. Well, there's a bug, Grizzly. Come get this butterfly over here. It's a little paper kite butterfly. He isn't paying attention. He's over there frolicking around with Molly and not being real serious about his bug hunting. So I don't know. I don't know if they're like on a date and they're out trying to hunt bugs together. I have no idea. But Molly, he's a little big for you. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess there's really no too big for someone kind of situation. But I don't know. Not the same species. Kind of weird. But maybe not. I don't know. We're in Pixel universe, so whatever. But Molly's super cute. I could see why Grizzly might be like, hey there, girly. You know, you cutie, come here. All right. Let's keep moving on. How about, is everyone liking this Tamagotchi life situation? Anybody playing that out there? I've been watching some people play it. I'm not sure it's for me, but some of it's pretty funny, and some of it seems like it kind of takes a while to get going, you know, like to make an impact or to move on. But I mean, it does look like it might be kind of fun for some people. So I figure if you're having fun with it, then that's awesome. All right, at this point in time, I wanted to just take a little tour of our build because I kind of finished it up. So you can see our little castle with all the clouds. Matches up with that little sky out there, you know. So really cute. I think this is our little area where we come up and take a look at it from the front. And then there's a little ladder and an incline there that you can go down and take a look. I put some bubble machines all around. I was required to put those down, but they actually work out really great for this build. There's our little entrance coming in from the front. And then, you know, our castle back there. And then we've got all sorts of cloudy type items everywhere around in here. And I do have a lot of open space in between. I kind of want that. That right there, the cube, is the wind symbol that I put up on the pedestal there. You know, thought that would be kind of cool. And then had some of our bubble plates, you know, put around. So there's that too. Kind of wish this glowing moss was a little whiter, but that's okay. This through here are our villagers. So we've got Sky's house over here and put some stuff around hers. Here's our museum here. And then over on this side, we have Ione's house, Ione. So they're kind of just nestled in here in the back. They do add a little to the structure. We've got a couple gates on either side, a bunch more bubble machines in there. I wish the bubbles were much bigger, or you could adjust the sizes and kind of have them floating through a lot more, you know. It would be really nice, but that's okay. This back here, you know, is kind of sparse. We've got our little secret beach back there. I went ahead and just put an arch and some old stuff. And then we've got our little cloudy area where we can just kind of run around, and all our little clouds built in and all of that. So, and of course our flowers to try to make it look kind of fluffy. He's so fluffy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and had fun with the build. We will be back on the next one where we're going to do our fire section. And so, yeah, it should be a good time. It'll be another quarter of the island done. So far we're halfway through. You guys, we only have 2 more quarters left, and then we'll do an island tour. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to work on this little slab of land over here. This is going to be our fire realm. This is a collab with a bunch of really great creators. They will be listed down below if you're interested in checking them out to see who all is involved in this little collaboration. Also, other people in the community are welcome to join in at any point in time. I'm going to go ahead and get started by putting down some pathing. I am not going to have you watch every move I make on this. It's a lot. And then I went back and did some terraforming back here. I know that some of you do like to watch the terraforming, and I do appreciate that. However, the majority of the people that watch my channel have said they don't really care to watch it. So if you do really, really love that, I do occasionally do some videos where I show like most of the terraforming I do, and I can definitely work on that. So if I get enough people saying, hey, like, why aren't you showing it? Let me know if that's something that you're interested in. But for the most part, I'm just trying to show you the highlights so that you can kind of see my process and things. And you know, other than that, I don't want to really make it too boring. However, this particular area has a lot of repetitive items in it, very similar to my cloud one, my wind. So just so you know, I do apologize if this does get a little repetitive, but we'll try to have some fun along the way still, just to enjoy it. I have to go and look at the perspective on this quite often just to make sure that you can kind of see where the volcano is going to go. This is also something that I saw over on Pinterest as an idea. I'm of course making it my own so that I'm not copying the creator, but and a lot of the items that the creator used were already items that I had written down for my volcano. But at this point in time, I had already looked at theirs and kind of gotten some ideas to help me in the creative process. And I definitely look at Pinterest a lot to get ideas. If you honestly think that every creator in here doesn't look for inspiration somewhere, then, you know, unfortunately, I think you're living in a dreamland. But, you know, there are some very, very creative people out there who can do all this on their own, out of their own brain, but that is definitely not me. I wanted this to look like a lot of the trees had burned down from the amount of lava and heat that was coming off this land. So you're going to see a lot of chopped down trees. There aren't any ways to get burned trees in this version of Animal Crossing. So the trees that you see here are what you get. It'd be kind of cool if we had the dead trees like they have in Pocopia, where you can pick those up with your magnet rise and bring them over to somewhere else. That would be really cool to be able to put that in here. But Animal Crossing, alas, does not do that, which is fine. You know, they're 2 separate games, but I just have to go between the 2 and make allowances for each one. Up here, I'm putting down the lava path also. If you're ever interested in these paths, I have a Pinterest board that all of my paths that I used are on. And so you can go over there and check them out. and steal them the same way I did, you know, of course. If you really don't have Pinterest or access to Pinterest for some reason and you need some other way of getting a hold of it, you know, please reach out and let me know. I can try to provide it to you as best I can. So up top here, I'm just putting down the lava code as well to get the volcanic area, because this is going to be the volcano eruption site. And I went ahead and put a volcano out, and then I was like, wait, that does not match at all. I need to take that one off and put another one. Matter of fact, I had friends in the Discord with me at the time, and they were like, that volcano is like, could be a different color. And I was like, you know what? I think it can. So definitely helpful to have friends in Discord. I think at the time it was Crispy and April and Nyla. So definitely helpful to have friends to help you think of things. You know what I mean? So the little blobs of glowing, you know, stuff is supposed to be like the lava, you know, coming out and like building up and stuff. But yeah, this volcano matches a little bit nicer. So we went ahead and put that one out, which is good. And then I have this tree back here. I think I'm going to take it out though and put in some decayed trees instead. So I will do that here in the build a little bit further out. But for right now, that's just hanging out in there. But you'll see some things like get taken off, put back on, things like that. So, you know, just FYI. But I had to shift around. I go up and down quite a bit, trying to look at the perspective, see if we're centered and things like that. And then I also needed to make room for stuff behind the volcano. And it was hard to get in behind the volcano because of the little glowing moss thing. So, you know, maneuvering. But yeah, here's me going up and down just to kind of check it out and see. I don't want it to look too uniform, and it doesn't have to be in the center, obviously, but I want to be able to see it from this little land bridge that I'm going to be building eventually here in the video. That's kind of what we're going to look at, you know, in this area. But the volcano is kind of the reason why this land looks the way it does. We are going for fire inspiration. I went ahead and got our villagers in here, which are Rodeo and Phoebe. The downside is that Phoebe's house is red with a yellow roof, which was great because that's kind of like flames, but then it has a blue door on it. I did not love the blue door, but I also really would like not to have to do HHP on this island. I don't plan on remodeling the insides of their house. Rodeo and Phoebe's houses are beautiful on the inside for this particular situation, so I'm super happy about that. The other villagers I chose for the earth area and also for the you know, the archipelago water area and the sky area, they all seem to kind of blend in okay. So I didn't feel like I had the need. These confetti machines are required. They are the item that I have to use. One of the 4 items I have to use, which was the bubble making machine, the confetti machine, the Lego blossom, and then 1 item out of a tree is going to be what I have to use in the archipelago area, or the water area, if you will. So I'm not sure what I'm going to end up with on our last little wedge of land. So that's going to be surprising. The asteroid I decided to use to almost look like there are rocks exploding out of our volcano. I don't know if you've seen a volcano erupt or seen it on video or seen it in a movie or whatever, but usually there's rocks and chunks of earth and things just exploding out of your volcano. And so I thought it kind of looked like it was blasting. We'll probably go 1 more notch forward on that land bridge so you can see it a little bit better. But for right now, I was okay with that. We've got our decimated trees that I'm going to put in. I think I said that earlier. The trees wouldn't have made it anyway in this land. I probably should have put some more trees around the bottom area too, but I didn't even think about it. And why? I don't know. I guess I wanted this part to look a little more special. Who knows? Anyway, but the trees definitely would look like that, or completely burned down to the ground like the ones I had chopped down, I would assume. Or maybe just completely disintegrated altogether, you know, because lava is very destructive. So the rest of this part right here, I was putting down pathing. Let me tell you, when I say there's a lot of pathing in this area, I had to cover up pretty much all the grass. There's a tiny bit in between that almost looks like a grass river. I wanted it to almost show like where the path of destruction was of lava, and then it only left a little bit of grass behind, kind of thing. So we do our best, you know. Nothing is going to be perfect on these, so you know, it is what it is. But this part here, I don't want you to be able to see the squareness of the lava, which is why I'm putting the rocks kind of in front of it to kind of hide the edging and frame it out a little bit. So in the shadows, or when you walk up to it later on, it will look a little less uniform and a little more natural, I suppose. The shadows really do make it look kind of cool, honestly. We're gonna put some fire here. The campfire itself is actually pretty helpful to make it look like things are actually on fire and stuff, because there's not much to it. It's literally just some sticks and fire, and the sticks almost disappear when it kind of goes on the ground with this pattern. So it's actually really kind of cool, because it just looks like the fire is just coming up from wherever, which is kind of neat. So I kind of like that. But we're kind of doing the same thing on both sides. I made them a little bit different, but for the most part, you know, I do like how it's turning out. During the day, probably not as cool as it would be during the night. When I do the tour of this entire island, I'm going to try to remember to tour it during the day and at night. I forgot that last time. However, I might forget. I don't know. We'll see when I'm going to set it for too. It might look better to have some of these areas in the evening time, or like closer to the evening time. So I definitely need to kind of check it out and see. I wanted to make this little path to kind of come on down where you come in at the bottom, and you can walk on back and then walk up the slope and look at the volcano. And then you could also walk around the sides of it. You go to Rodeo's house, go to Phoebe's house, walk around where all the death and destruction has occurred. But I wanted it to be a little weavy, sort of like kind of not curling, but kind of, you know, skirting around sideways, back and forth a little bit, little snaky type pattern. It's not a long pathway. It's somewhat short, honestly, from where it's starting, but it's enough to kind of make the impact that I was wanting. So we did the best that we could with it. But this is really the only terraforming, is the land bridge and then the back part where the volcano is. So it was really the only spot where I could go to you know, add a little more structure to the area. The rest of it's just kind of where the lava has landed and burned down our lands. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And I want to be able to walk up here easily, so that's why I'm kind of adjusting the thickness of the path as I go, so that when you're walking up here, you know, it's got a good amount of space to walk on, and also a place to put a few things, and the pattern that we need to join it to the front and stuff like that. So, and plus I have to have room down front to put a bridge or an incline in as well, because we've got to get up to it. And I have to put an incline at the very end where you're going to go up and look at the volcano. So it's a little bit of a trial and error situation to see where we need to go from here and stuff like that. So a lot of trial and error on this. I've never made an elements island, and it is a little bit hard to portray some of the elements on an Animal Crossing island. You know, it's just a little different. So one of those things is just kind of a little new to me. Now I had to finish placing all the lava down around the huge area down here, which it's a lot, y'all. Like these realms that we're making, each one is a quarter of the island. So if you think about that, like when I did a 20-acre island, there's 20 acres to work on. Each of these is 4, you know, I mean, 1 of 4, right? So I'm assuming that they're each worth about 4 to 5 acres each. So you're doing that much all at once, if you're doing it all at once. Most people are breaking it up. I am just the crazy fool that is doing it all in one chunk. And that is really just because I am probably putting a little bit too much on my plate as far as life and all this goes, and I'm trying to kind of get this one completed so that I can concentrate on my no cheats island, which I'm really enjoying actually. Have any of you done a vanilla island recently, or are you still doing one from the beginning? I have a forever island that I've had for almost, well, let's see, it's been a year and about 4 months now, going on 5. And I have that island. That's kind of my vanilla island. The only thing I ever got on that island were 2 things. One was I did go to a treasure island to get the stars, the Nova light that I needed for my disability build. Minxie had picked out for me. I didn't have the code for it yet, and I was doing that build on that island, so I had to go get it. And then I also got myself a stack of Nook Mile tickets once, a stack of gold once, which was all in one shot. And gosh, I can't remember what else, but other than that, that island was completely vanilla. I just wanted to, there was a time where we were not able to use mods and things like that on our other switches, and I needed to provide things to those as well. So it was just one of those things, but for the most part, every single thing on that island completely, you know, done the way as usual. So this will be the second one that I've kind of done from the beginning. Aside from the ones that I played a long time ago when this game first started in 2020, I had done that island for 9 months, you know, vanilla, until I figured out what treasure islands were and stuff like that, time travel. But I'm not doing any time travel, though, on this no cheat island, and that I haven't done since 2020. My Forever Island, I'm a total time traveler cheater, which is fine. I don't call it cheating. I just think you play how you want to play. There is no cheating in this game, but to be technical, whatever people might kind of consider cheating, we're not doing on these other no cheat islands. So, you know, just a little play on the judgy people out there who think we're cheating our little brains out. You can't cheat on a game you can't win, but you know, I know there's a lot of people who work hard on their islands and, you know, do it the long way, which is fine. It's great, and if that's the way you love it, that is absolutely awesome. It's just kind of different when you're a content creator and you have to make islands in a speedy fashion. It's a little hard to always do it vanilla. You know what I mean? So, but I like a little spread of both, and I'm really loving doing the vanilla version of the island, the no cheat island. It's really been fun. It kind of triggered a nostalgic part of me to where I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, I did some work offline because I accidentally didn't press record. So my apologies. I'm starting to put some flowers down. I'm of course using just the black flowers. I'm assuming they all got burned, you know, by the lava. But these are the things that I had placed so far in the beginning. It's kind of going to have this look for most of the island. So just a spoiler, if you're wondering, what is Jojo going to do with this island? There might be a few little, you know, additional bigger builds of items and things kind of clumped together, but for the most part, this is it. Like, this is what's going to be on this island. A lot of fire, a lot of rocks, a lot of burnt down trees, and burnt flowers and things like that. So hopefully when it all comes together, you'll think it looks cool and puts together in your mind that this is a little fire realm and that we've touched that corner of the universe as far as realms go. But, you know, I'm not thinking that anything's going to be perfect or whatever. It's not going to be the most incredible thing you ever seen, of course, but it's a lot of fun, and it is the best interpretation I can do on the elements. So, you know, I'm just doing the best I can, the best Jojo island I can. There are so many talented people, though. When I was looking up elements and stuff like that, oh my gosh, there's some people that have done some amazing things. I am just not quite up to their level, if you hear what I'm picking up, what I'm putting down. So came up here, wanted to add a little bit more flames and things. I'm really trying to get the impact through that this is a fire realm, so we definitely have to have fire everywhere. Flames coming out of things, you know. It needs to look like when you walk around here, it's hot. So yeah, we're gonna try to make that come through, of course. But I am enjoying it. I thought I would get kind of bored of it, but I think breaking it up into the big chunks and doing 4 different almost like themes is really helpful. It's very similar to doing a 20-acre island where you're breaking it up into 20 pieces. It's actually a little easier this way because the 20-acre island, you kind of have to think of 20 different ideas, which can be very difficult. And in this one, it's just kind of like, you know, it's different. So because you have the same theme and you can use it for a little bit larger chunk. The downside is you have the same theme, it's a much larger chunk. So what seems like it could be really good is also could be really bad. So it just kind of depends. But in any case, I'm still enjoying it. I just worry that it's too much of the same thing over and over again. So hopefully you're not getting that kind of I don't know, when you look at it, hopefully you're still liking the way it looks and stuff. But I tried using, and I did end up using these termite mounds as well as a different rock. I wish you could pick a different color of those. That would be my only gripe, is I needed them to be dark and black, kind of like lava rock, and instead I had to kind of go with the brown, lighter colors. But I mean, I guess it's fine. You're gonna find different colored rocks and things through nature involving lava. So, but most of the time, I think if you've ever been to Hawaii or anywhere that has an active volcano, most of the time the lava does turn black. It is a very blackened, dark, almost like a hollowy kind of rock where it's very solid, but it's also got like air holes and pockets and things in it from the way it dries and nature and things like that. And it depends on if it touches water or if it just touches air. So a lot of different things can happen to make the lava the way it is. But whoever made this lava code, the ground code, did such a great job, and I appreciate you. Again, the code will be over in my Pinterest if you're wondering who the heck skilled person did this. They're pretty amazing. And I do definitely appreciate them for sure, because I could never, Here's the blue door I was talking about. I just don't love it. I'm going to fix the pattern in front of her house, and then what I'd like to do is try to kind of cover the front of it a little bit so that you're not generally going to see that blue door standing out so much. And that might help just kind of camouflage what's going on with her house a little bit. Rodeo's house is perfect. It's black. It doesn't have any kind of crazy colors attached to it. I just don't really, I understand that fire does contain blue flames at times and stuff like that. And Phoebe has blue on her. So I understand why they did do the blue. But at the same token, I kind of just wish the door was like either black or maybe even the yellow to match the roof or something like that. And that way it would have made it a little more easy for me to blend it in with this canvas here. But it's okay. We make it work eventually. Oh, I did put a decayed tree down here. I don't even remember doing that. Isn't that crazy? When you do voiceovers after you've been working on an island for like 4 hours and then you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's okay. So each area of this island probably takes about probably 4 hours just to like complete it. So if you multiply that up, that's like 16, hours of making this island. And if you spread that out over the days, that's probably like, if I did play on it like 2 hours a day or something, that adds up to about 8 days. But you can't play every day, so people think I get this done really, really fast. Not necessarily, but I can get a whole area done in one day if I just sit down and play a really long time. But anyway, when I'm doing this, that part is just the working on the island part. Sometimes it's even longer, per area. I had to do this build on here about 4 times. So if you add that up, it was probably more like 10 hours. So just saying. And then editing. So you have to kind of cut out some of the stuff that people don't love. So just to put it in perspective, there's a lot of time in these islands. So I hope you guys enjoy watching the process and enjoy how it comes out in the end. I actually think it's pretty good. It's definitely not like the most aesthetic thing you've ever seen. But I do think it definitely comes across as a fire area. So I do think that's pretty cool. And we'll do a tour towards the end when we get done. But right now I'm trying to put as much fire around. I want to try to add some more stone structures. I was going to add in some caves, things like that, to kind of add a little more rock structures. But I also want to be able to walk around easily and kind of show the devastation that lava will do once it spreads out. It tears down most of the things in its way. So it's not like you're going to have structures everywhere. You're not going to have like a bunch of that stuff to be in the way, and the only thing you're really going to have is what's left over at the end. And I'm kind of considering like this is like almost a fresh lava spill, So we're throwing out a Stonehenge because, it's just a big rock structure. It's nice to be able to use that and add a little chunky area to this. I realized back here was just like this big open space, connected over there. And so I wanted to add some more items in the back here just to give it a little structure. So I will work on the back here as well. We're going to put the fire going around the back side also. And yeah, now I know a lot of times some people associate the elemental type situations with like airbender or with not airbender. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about? What is the program that I'm thinking of? Nyla's doing an island on it. Avatar type situation. But I was going more off the just generic earth, wind, fire, water kind of situation. So it's not based on any kind of characters or anything like that. She is the expert on that. She actually watched all that. And so her island is based on that type of character. I've never watched that. The only Avatar I've ever watched is the movie with the blue people in it, and I don't think that's what she's doing, because I've been watching her, on her episodes, and yeah, it's not the same thing. So just saying, like, if you're associating these element type situations with that, that is not what I'm going for. This is more just my idea of the 4 different elements: earth, wind, fire, water, and just how I see them, on earth, right? So, or not on earth, because, there really isn't a castle in the sky. So, but that was the best way that I could show things being floaty and up in the air. So, but yeah, there's a lot of span of space, though. It's unbelievable just how much really is involved in each island, like how much space there is. It's crazy. You have a lot of stuff to work with, which is interesting. So it's one of those deals where you kind of have to try to be a little creative, and also things can get a little repetitive. But I think that's the same with any island we do. I would call this filler, like ways to join it all together and make it look kind of uniform and stuff like that. But I'm curious if any of you all are doing the 4 Realms challenge, and if you are, what did you choose? Did you choose to do biomes? Did you choose to do the elements? Did you choose to do the 4 seasons? Which one did you do, and are you enjoying it? What are some things that you were surprised about? Like, is it hard for you? Are you having an easy time of it? What do you think? Are you having a good time? I think that some parts of this have been easier than I thought, and other parts were a lot harder. Trying to come up with the initial plan was kind of difficult. Once I got an idea of what I want, it became much easier. So I think just thinking about what you're going to do, and I do try to plan out a little bit of my islands, but for the most part I wing it. So all I do is just think up a concept, and then I come in here and I kind of just throw things everywhere. So, or not really, but you know what I mean? Like I do write down a list of items that I would like to use on here. And sometimes that helps me figure out like what I'd want to do with it. I did kind of think it would be cool to have these 2 caves like touching together, and I was hoping they would do that, and they kind of did, which was really nice. There's a little bit of a gap between the 2, but not too bad. I just thought it could be like a big rock structure over here. I've seen people put the caves together before and use them as a big rock structure. And I thought this was also another way that I could do that over here. So, and then I put some of the other additional rocks and things around to try to make it look like just one big, I don't know, area that, some of the lava had dried up and formed these big rock vessels or whatnot. So, and I'm assuming that these little pedestals, these ruined arches and things that I'm putting down are the only things that made it from this city, so I'm kind of looking at it like that. They got charred and they got kind of torn down and destructed, and this is about all that made it through this big lava spill. So, and now this land is very hot and fire, and yeah, so that's why I did what I did here. And then I'm just trying to use some different stone items to try to make the area look, just to kind of show the only things that survived, because I'm imagining not a whole lot would survive in this sort of atmosphere, except if it was made of the same thing the lava is, which is like stone items and stuff like that. So, and yeah, so we got a little archway to go through there, which is cute. And then we're just gonna, get the rest of this open space with a little bit more items and things. I had the fossils in my pocket and thought those would be good to kind of spread around, as if, different people might have been like, I don't know, animals and things were taken down during the lava spill, during the big during the big volcanic eruption. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie. I think it's just called Volcano, but I can't remember. It was made many years ago. And I thought it was interesting because I've always just thought of a volcano as, okay, it's just a mountain, and then all of a sudden it erupts, and that's it. And then it's just whatever devastation that adds. But this movie actually kind of showed like what happens to the atmosphere prior to the volcano erupting. Like there's times where there's this sulfuric acid that kind of goes around the atmosphere and makes it hard to breathe, and it ruins like different water bodies of water, and ponds and things around it get very sulfuric and acidy. And then like if you were to go into it, it could burn your skin, or it could burn, you know, wildlife or whatever. So it's just like things that you don't think about that happen in the atmosphere when a volcano is stirring or when it's starting to brew. It's destructive before it's destructive, you know, which is really interesting. So I always thought that movie was kind of cool because it kind of showed the stuff that could occur on the outside of the actual volcano. So yeah, I did think that was very interesting. So, but I like I say, just trying to fill in some spots here, add some different variation to it so it still kind of looks neat and different, but you know, not all the same everywhere you go around on the island, you know. Okay, and this is the part where I decided I needed to cover up Phoebe's door. So I was just trying to put down some things. You're still going to be able to see it through there, but I figured, oh, you know, I'll put whatever I can to kind of block it a little bit, and it won't be so noticeable. It kind of adds a little shade onto the end of there, and that's not too shabby. So I'm just throwing some things out there and seeing if we can kind of just take the focus off that blue door. Not that it's a huge deal. It's really not. It's just I'd rather not see it just blatantly out there, you know. And then I wanted to kind of deck out the sides and the back and whatever of the house, and just make it blend in with the environment so that it's not like looking weird standing there all by itself, you know. So we're just throwing some stuff out there and making it kind of cohesive with the build. So that's what I'm kind of doing here. I'm thinking about the fact that some of these things can kind of cover up some of the colors or the things that weren't intended on being in here. And again, just so I can try not to have to do HHP, it would be really nice because I don't really want to have to do it for just a few houses. You know, it'd be nice if I had to really work on it for the rest of the island, but the way this island is, most of the villagers' houses are working out. So I'm not going to do that just for this one section. You know, it would be a lot of work just to do that, which I'm willing to do for everything. Look at Molly. Look at her sitting here. She's contemplating life. Like, do I want to live with the flames? I'm a lava master now. I don't want to be in the water zone. I want to be over here with the fire because I am on fire. You are, Molly. You are one of the top-notch, highest villagers in the land, and I totally get that. So I see why you are thinking to yourself, I belong with fire because I am fire. No, you're not, girl. You are so cute and lovely and little. You need to go over to the water section so you don't light your little feathers on fire. We don't want you to be, you know, over here. Phoebe's got that covered. You're okay. You don't need to be over here. So for the most part, I think we're just about done with this area. I'm probably going to put some finishing touches around, and then we'll go ahead and take a little tour of this area because I want you to be able to see it in its entirety, you know. So I'd like to kind of go look at it off and on and see how it's looking and then go from there. But yeah, we'll go ahead and head over to the part here where we can kind of start from here. And yeah, we're done. I'm so excited. So let's head over to go to our little areas and take a look. So this is obviously Devastation Station over here. A lot of lives have been taken, unfortunately. We've got our lava area over here, and now, you know, it's okay. But this is Rodeo's house. He has a lot of things going on around his house, a lot of devastation, unfortunately. And then we've got this area over here, which is where Phoebe's house lives. And we've got, you know, some rocks built up, and unfortunately we've lost some lives this direction as well. But, you know, it is what it is. There's a very big, yeah, there's a death back there too. Oh my gosh, it's just a lot of death and destruction, you guys. A lot. It's a lot. I think the fire, between the fire and the little flamethrower thing, it kind of makes my screen wig out a tiny bit. So my apologies to that. It did it a couple times. I was able to cut out one, but not the other. This is the back side of the volcano, just, you know, death and destruction again, kind of spread out this way. And then we'll head up front and go down our walkway, our little land bridge, see what the volcano looks from our viewpoint. And then that'll be the end of this little realm. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching that. But let's go up here and just see what our realm looks like at the top, and our volcano and all of that jazz. So yeah, there's the volcano. Thanks again so much for watching. I always appreciate all of you. And for any of you taking the time to watch this whole thing, you all are amazing. This is going to be our very last quarter of the island that we're going to work on today, which is the water section. And we're going to create a little archipelago area over here, which is on the left side of the island. We'll walk over there now and take a little look-see. But here's our little divider here. We want to kind of make this a little less straight and uniform and a little more willy-nilly, you know. So I am going to jump across here and make this a little willy-nilly, and then I'm going to come back over here and start working on some terraforming over there to kind of just make it, you know, just a little natural. It's gonna have, I need to move my villagers over here. The last couple villagers we have to move are our two frogs and our duck. So we've got Lily and Henry, and then we also have Molly here. And so all three of them are out on the beach and they need to be moved in. I also still have my house and then all of the stores and things. And I think I'm going to make the beaches sort of a little shopping area sort of situation. And so the front end of the island is probably just going to be that. We'll go ahead and move my house off to the left-hand corner so it's not blocking any of the ways. And we have Nook's Cranny and Able Sisters all the way to the far right. I do want to go take a look at that real quick and just kind of see how they are sitting, because I don't want them to really block like the whole area that we have over here. My house is definitely blocking the forested area, which is why it definitely needs to move. I think that Nook's and Abel's is far enough over to the right. It's not blocking too much, and they're not that big. Yeah, it's just blocking this little corner, which is fine. We can walk behind it just fine and still see the majority of the build. This house will not be here, and we'll try to kind of incorporate these guys in a way where it blends in. So we'll get that done too. I'm probably going to end up at least doing the front half of the beaches, and then maybe just throwing some flowers and stuff on the other sides to, you know, join things in or whatnot. But for the most part, the rest of it is going to be me moving these guys around and getting them out onto the archipelago. But let me go ahead and first of all do a little bit of terraforming here. I just want to put a few, let me put on my helmet because, you know, that's the thing. So let's get the island designer working, start construction. And I'm going to just, like I said, just put a few little curves and twists in this water over here so it doesn't seem too straight, you know, so that we can, oh my gosh, no, Joe. Listen, Linda. It's also kind of hard to see how it is over here, so I don't want anything too real straight and jagged, you know. I want it to be very curvy and bendy. I'm not sure how much we can do over here with the house here and stuff, but yeah, in the past we've been able to get pretty close to the house. I know I can't get by you, tree, but there is an edge behind you. There we go. Let's do that. And then, like I said, it doesn't have to be too much. I'm just trying to take the hard edges off. And so that's definitely like one of those things that needs to be fixed a little bit in this area. Let's do that. Yes, that's fine. And then we'll go between these guys, see what I can do to round this edge up. So let me do a little bit of that, and then I will come back and we'll start working on the acapella area over there and get that looking like it's supposed to be there. So I'll be right back. All right, well, that added a little bit more to it on this side. And then now we're going to go on the other side. So there's just a few little ins and outs, you know, to make it kind of look a little more wavy, like not so uniform. And then we're going to go ahead and start breaking this up just a bit more. What I'd like to do is probably figure out where we're going to put our buildings. They're just going to be little areas where they live, and so I don't really have, it doesn't really matter where they go, but they are going to be surrounded by some patterns or design codes that I have and stuff like that. So it definitely will make a little bit of a difference. So I do want to kind of take a look at that. So let me see here. This is a big span of space. So I definitely have plenty of room to spread them out. I would like to have the two frogs together with maybe a little sort of pond between the two or around the two. And then the duck, maybe we'll put her on her own in her own little acre. So maybe I'll put the two froggies across the middle there, and then Molly can be up here where I'm standing, and then she'll have a little extra room with this little peninsula out there. So I think that's what we'll do. I'm going to go grab their homes and move them in, and it'll be a little time traveling, and then I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I've got most of my water code down. So we've got all this here to kind of lay out the area of the land. I don't quite know if this is how I want it shaped yet. It's almost like this is the path, but it's really not. I don't know. I do want it to definitely be mostly water over here, so I'm thinking maybe, yeah, and then we'll kind of just knock out as much of this water as we can all the way around and have just little plots of land and put some greenery and lush things on top of it to really make it look very almost like swampy or whatnot. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. All right, hello. So here we are. We're doing a little speed build. I don't do these too often, but in this case, I just thought I would show a little bit of the terraforming that I'm doing. So I'm doing a little water terraforming. I'm going to do a little cliff terraforming, stuff like that. But just to kind of get this in a little bit more shape, I wanted to kind of make a little bit more water added, and then also put a few islands in here, things like that, and down below. And then up above, we're going to put some mountain areas behind the two froggy houses. And we're also going to decorate a little bit, obviously. So here you can see I'm just kind of forming the water and making things shaped up a little bit more naturally, I guess, because I had very straight lines dividing up all these lands. I still kind of do, which I don't love it entirely, but it was the easiest way for me to divide up the little lands and kind of just keep it to where all of those are separate. So and water's a good division because then you don't really have to mesh one land to another too much. Like they don't have to blend, because you can just kind of jump across or walk across to the other spot and then there you are, voila, no problem. So anyway, I don't know. I think my villagers can get around this island via the beaches because I don't have any of that blocked off. And if they can't get around that way, they can come through. There is some pathing that links together near resident services and stuff. So I think my villagers can get around okay in this area, but I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really watched them moving around, but I do see them in different areas. So I think they're able to at least spawn into different areas, if not get around themselves. So we are now just kind of moving the islands into place. So I wanted to make them look kind of natural and choppy, not too squared off or whatever. So I'm just kind of making sure they're a little bit rounded and that none of the edges are like, 90-degree edges are kind of weird. So anyways, just doing that. And then once I get this part dark on it, I do that all the time where I just go into my design and then I have to redo it again. So nothing is perfect, by the way. I constantly struggle with doing terraforming, as probably many of you do as well. And so I just kind of left, some of this so you could see that, it is not just easy peasy. It doesn't come together as easily as you might think. It's a little bit of struggle is real situation. So that does definitely happen. And yeah, so there's a lot going on with that. But in any case, I think I will probably jump over to, we're not going to show every single part of this because I don't want to bore you to tears with every single thing I'm doing over here. But I did want to just show you little parts of it and kind of some of the progress so you can kind of see as I was working on it what I was up to. But I do like the pattern that I chose. It does look a little bit like, I don't know, like a rock path, but it's fine. It's all good. Lily was being dramatic. She asked me to leave the island. Of course, I told her no. Like, there was absolutely no way, Lily. Then we went up on the hills that I created, and I wanted to get some of the water flowing back here. This is hopefully like the main source of the island, and so that's exactly what we're doing, is just trying to get it to look that way. And I want to join everything together so it'll just kind of look like, like a lot of water is coming out of there. So I'm gonna do it from the back and from the front areas. You kind of have to have a straight area on your land in order to make the water go through. So I did have to fix this a little bit, bump it out a tiny bit on the edge so that I could make my water go through there and not, cut off at that one part. So all I wanted to do is get that one little section. And I was like, oh, come on. And I had to keep doing it over and over again until I finally fixed that part, but it's okay. We're gonna make it. That part looks good, and then we're going to go to this part and try to add some water in here as well. I do have to do a few adjustments on this hill as well as as I did on the other one. So it's definitely a process. Sometimes you have to do like a little trial and error, try some things here and there, and then see what's going on. So that is what you're seeing here. But here's where I figured out, like, okay, that's not going to work. Neither is that one. So I have to go down and kind of expand the hill, make everything work together, which, wasn't happening in this one. Luckily, I had a little room back here so I could kind of expand the hill out one notch, which wasn't too bad. Sometimes you can't, and you got to start fresh, which happens to me. me a lot of times as well, so it's not always the way I would like it to be. All right, and then in this area, I want to make sure the water looks like it's going into that pool of water. And this one is going to kind of look like it is going into a crevice down into this water area. And then I'll go ahead and break off the little edge so that it looks more like a small pool over there. And what I'll probably do later on is put some wheat field in the front of that where the pond meets it, so that it kind of blends it together, so that'll be fine. I do want to leave some green so that I can plant trees, bushes, flowers, because any place that has a lot of water that I've been to before has had a lot of that with it. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to any swampy type areas or whatnot, but they do have trees growing out of the swamps, and they also have bushes and different plants and stuff. So it is quite the biome, let me tell you. I'm not doing the biome challenge, but if I was, this would kind of be a swampy one. So from here, we're going to go ahead and start decorating. I went ahead and finished all my terraforming at this point, and now we're just kind of planting all the bushes, the trees, the flowers, just putting in the jewelry, if you will. I always feel like this is the jewelry of the decorations and the builds, is putting down these really pretty things to make it look nice. I only wanted to use blue, green, and white flowers. And I also only wanted to use certain flowers. I didn't want to use all of the blue flowers. I didn't want to use all of the white flowers. I was just trying to use like one of each in different ways. So I kind of just picked, one flower from each category and different colors. So I think we did lilies and tulips for the white ones, and then we did hyacinth, windflowers, and the pansies for the blue, and then the green mum. So that was the only green flower, obviously. I wish they had another green flower in this game. Wouldn't that be nice? I wish they had a lot of things as far as the vegetation and stuff go. It would be really great. So I would love to just be able to have some more additional plants and vegetation to use around, because that's really the filler that a lot of us use is nature. But it'd be really nice to have it super variable, I put a little duck family over here. So we've got mom, dad, and the kids. One of them is a blue duckling. I figured, we had to have one little odd duckling in the bunch. The rest got mom's coloring. So, but the blue one, he's going to turn out to be, I guess, the baby boy. Who knows? I don't know. He could be a girl too. It could be a girl. I don't know. But I'm just envisioning like he's took after his dad and the other ones took after their mom kind of thing. So I'm going ahead and planting some things around this little house here, but not a lot. Like there's not a lot of decor. I'm going to put a bunch of little Karakuropi frogs around in the vicinity of the two froggy houses. I did notice throughout the entire video that Lily and Henry were having several conversations, and I feel like they're dating at this point, so they're definitely enjoying each other. In the first conversation, they were talking about poetry or something like that, which I don't know if I capture it here or not. And in the second conversation, I forget what they were talking about, but by the time they got to the third conversation, they were really fighting at that point. They were fighting, very angry. So that was a thing. So they're kind of a fiery little couple, But here, it looked like Henry was going to come sit next to Lily, but then she started to fall asleep. I think he just decided to give her some peace, So she went ahead and nodded off over there because he was being a little bit boring. And then he came back over. I think he really wanted to, hang out and have a picnic or something, but she wasn't having it. She was just like, I'm going to bed. Now they're having their little poetry conversation. And apparently he wrote her, you know, some sort of cautionary tale in his poetry. So I don't know, but she enjoyed it and they had a nice little conversation about it. Again, they're going to do that a couple of times, but the last one, no bueno. I didn't even get to hear what they argued about because I was really busy doing something at the time and I didn't get a chance to get over there before their little Angie stuff stopped. So I don't even know what they were arguing about, but they were mad. Both of them stomping around with a bunch of little clouds over their head. Very upset, very unhappy, no bueno. But it's okay. They got over it somehow. I think they're doing okay now and just kind of hanging out together. But I'm hoping that they're falling in love, you know. Maybe they'll get married and then they'll have little froglets. Wouldn't that be cute? I don't know. Anyway, we're putting down a bunch of trees, bushes, plants. You will notice that I did stunt all of my trees and stuff as I went. I was very proud of myself that I remembered to do that because there have been many times that I have made builds and ended up with full-grown trees by the time I went and did my tour. But I think this time I remembered all of them, which was really great. I like the variation of the tree sizes. I went and saw Bunny Glitter, her island today called Reset. She was in my stream and had redeemed that. And her island of Reset was really pretty. She did like no custom design codes. She was able to use treasure islands and time traveling, but she didn't do any terraforming, nothing. And boy, was her island really pretty, and I loved what she did with it. But I think the thing that she was so good at was the variation in sizes and vegetation and stuff, and making things look really full and lush and lively. And I really, really did love that about her island. I put these couple of little lovebird ducks over here because since we have the two froggies that are in love over there, I just wanted to put a little ode to their romance here. Plus we have our little ducky gal up front here, Molly, and she doesn't really have a partner in this episode or in this island, but that's okay. She's confident. And she's good on her own, and she's a happy camper, so she's okay. But in any case, I am not going to have you watch all of the decorating. I'm going to kind of get a lot of this done, and then what I'm going to do, there's some islands that need some decor. Some of the hills in the back need some decor, and pretty much most of it is filler and beauty and stuff like that, like pretty things that just make it filled up and looking nice. So I'm showing you a little bit of it, and then we're going to move on to just a tour of the island, or of this area of the island and how it turned out. But this is my last realm of the island. I do plan on possibly doing the beaches, at least part of them, the front half, and maybe where the campsite is, just because I have structures over there like my Nooks, Able Sisters, and my home and the campground are all out on the beach, and I can't really move them because I don't have anywhere to put them. So plus I didn't really want them in any of the lands, like I didn't have any plans for them, so I'm just keeping them where they are. I'm figuring I'll make like a little boardwalk type situation. I can use some of the planks that I borrowed from Kaylee's designs and make it a little boardwalk area out there, put some flowers, a couple of little railings with some fencing and stuff, and just kind of make it that kind of a little thing going on. But it is looking nice. I'm going to try to put as many wheat fields around to kind of block some of the edging, which isn't bad. Like the edging is great. I just think the wheat field kind of helps chop it up a little bit and not make it look so, I don't know, design code heavy kind of situation. Because I want it to look somewhat natural as well. And this kind of hides some of the stuff that makes it look kind of fake. So anyway, but aside from that, this build is just about done. I just have a few more filler areas to fill up. I can't imagine making you sit here and watch every single thing I do here because it's really very repetitive. So I will do a small tour here in just a few minutes, and you will get to see how everything turned out. And I appreciate y'all watching this. I know sometimes speed builds are hard. I have the Demon Gummies music playing. It's a lo-fi. I think it's something about Raymond. I can't remember the name exactly, but I will post it down below, and that way you guys can look it up and use it if you want to or not. But it's very nice and pleasant to listen to, and I really enjoy it. And shout out to Dreams and Kitty for helping me figure out how to attach it to my video and download it to my computer, because I didn't know how. And that's why I've never used them before. And then I finally, with their help, got to figure it out. So that was kind of nice. So I appreciate it, because now my future videos, if I have little sections, I can use that instead of, some of my other stuff I've used was like beginning game sound and stuff. And although that was like super cool, you kind of want something different every now and then. So that was helpful. So I enjoy that. But anyway, and then we're just kind of, like I said, just doing the edges, getting the water lined up with some stuff so that it's looking very nice and full and natural. And then we're gonna head over and do our tour. And we ended up being kind of in the time between golden hour and where the sun is going down on the island. The colors in the sky are really pretty. It's very pink and purpley and blue, and it was really nice. And then the music at this time of day, by the way, is really nice as well. So if you're ever looking for something really good, it's, I think between 4 and 7 p.m. at night has really nice music on Animal Crossing. So highly recommend, if you haven't built at that time of day, give it a try. There's a reason why people always choose the golden hour in the game. It's because it's a very, very pretty time, and people really like working in there and looking at it and that kind of thing. So it's lovely. I do love this game. It's really sweet. So okay, let's head over and let's take a tour of this thing being done. So here we are at the beginning of the island pathway, I would guess you would call it. We're kind of walking in the pond, but there's our little duck family. We've got lots of little Kirakoropis around, and we've got our little lily pads. We've got these areas over here that are our, not this area, sorry. This area across here, which are our little islands that we built in. I threw in a few lanterns, giant vines, the vine seat. Here's one of our little lanterns I'm chatting about. There's nothing really out here. It's just filler area. It's supposed to just look pretty, and join everything together. We do have a couple little duckies over here just hanging out and chilling on this little island. And then we've got this little island here, which again is just some more filler, but definitely cutesy, and I like it a lot. It looks really pretty. And then we're going to head back over here. We've got our 2 froggy houses up here. I put a bunch of butterflies around. I figured the butterflies like to hang around in the watery areas of the island. And so, they're kind of nice to have. And plus, frogs, bugs, they kind of like each other. Well, frogs like bugs. Bugs don't necessarily like the frogs because they like to eat them. But in any case, I figured bugs were definitely needing to be around here. Same with ducks. Ducks eat the bugs too. But I really appreciate all of you watching and enjoying this series. This is my last chunk of the realms. So we've got all 4 realms completed at this point. The only last part of it is just finishing the little beachy areas I was talking about earlier. And so I will come back and get those underway. And hopefully we will be in a place where I can do a tour by next Monday. And so, again, just thank you so, so much. I also want to make sure you all know I really appreciate all of the members of the channel. I thank you so much for giving any money to my channel that you ever do. I do try to pass it on and share it with others, and so I definitely appreciate that. Thanks to all my friends who were kind of hanging out with me while I was doing this, and that way it wasn't so boring. And also thank you to my recorder, which actually worked on the second recording try because the first one got lost and I'm super duper sad. So anyway, but we finished it up, and I am so happy that at least the main chunks of the island are complete, and we have a mostly finished product. So take care, and I'm just so thankful for all of you being in my life, and I hope that you have just the best rest of your day. This is my flag. I was lucky enough to find this online. It happens to be the exact shape of my island as far as like where I put all the elements and in the right locations, which was so crazy. It's the only one. It is very simple. I do get that. Not the prettiest flag I've ever seen, but no insults to who made this. It's just very simple. And but they did a great job on it. So we have the earth at the bottom, we have the wind at the top, so those two are correct, and then fire on the right and water on the left. So it does definitely represent my island, and I'm appreciative of the person that made this. And so we're starting out at my green airport, and we have a little up area here that we can go on, but we're not going to do that quite yet. I thought first we would go ahead and look at the earth area, and then we'll go ahead and maybe just circle. We'll go to the left, and then we'll go to the right, and then we'll do the wind at the very end. So for right now, this is our little meadow area, the meadow part of our earth section, where our maple, grizzly, and let me show you my map. That would be helpful. But yeah, so we have Jojo, obviously. I'm living on the beach. We have Henry, who is living over here in the water area. Maple down here in earth, Grizzly in earth. We've got Lily over here by Henry. They're boyfriend and girlfriend, by the way, just FYI. Fauna over here in earth. And then we have Phoebe is over here in fire. Sky is living up here in the wind area. Molly is down here in the water section. Ione is also up here in the sky section. And then we have Rodeo over in the fire area. So those are our villagers for each section. And then the back of the island is where the museum lives. Everything else I left out on the beaches except for the villager homes. So just FYI, it's not very like the main part of the island is more just encompassed on the elements themselves, and I just thought I would leave the other parts on the beach. I did do the beaches, but they're very simple. So we'll kind of run along there and I'll show you what I did. But they're not anything to write home about. They're just acceptable. You know what I mean? Like I'm standing on part of the beach right now, and it's basically just a little dirt area. I put some pine trees out here to make it kind of fit in with our earth section. And so yeah, there's that. But anyway, our pathway goes up here to Deirdre's house. Or oh my God, I'm gonna keep calling her Deirdre. It's Fauna. This is Fauna's home here. And she lives in a meadow. I always think of, when I think of deer, I think of Bambi and the meadow and all of their little friends. So that is why we gave her the meadow. And then if you continue up this direction on the road, you will find Grizzly's house, who is our lumberjack. He is the guy that maintains all the chopped wood and all of that. And then if you continue down here, you'll see where he's working and stuff like that. The forested area comes up over here. And then we, of course, have his, we'll say niece. Maple is down here, and she maintains our little tree farm where you can purchase things that are from the tree farm. Like you can get your firewood, you can buy small tree saplings if you want them, and also different plants, to grow in your own yard. And so anyway, I just kind of gave her a simple little yard here, and this is the little tree farm right here. And so yeah, it's not real overdone. I went ahead and just put some things out in front of her area to make it look pretty. We are out by the ocean, so I went ahead and put some shell items out here. And then this is just a little fake building thing I put in front of my own home. I don't love doing the interiors anyways, so it wasn't on my priority list, All right, this over here, this section is the campground is here. I did not put the camp tent up yet, but I will amiibo someone in before I do my dream address, which I will do before the end of this video. This is the section where, oh, look at Lily. She's so cute in here reading by the ocean or by the river. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's hiding, can't even see her. Anyway, this is my little duck family down here by Molly's house. She lives at the bottom portion of the water area, and this is just a very shallow pond, river, rock type area that runs all the way through. Here's Henry. He's checking out bugs because frogs love bugs, And then this area up here, this is just some greenery on this side just to make it look full and pretty. I've got a couple of lanterns of frogs and stuff out here. So I did put the square and the little Karakoropy here. This is the water symbol down there. So anyway, and then if you move on up the line here, this over here is pretty much just like a filler area. We've got a couple little lovebird ducks over here. And then on this edge, we've got our two frogs that live up in this section. And so we have Lily's house and we have Henry's house on this side. And so they just live next to each other. We've got some frogs living in this little pond as well. And then this item right here is what I shook out of the tree. So that ended up being our item for the area because it had to be an item out of a tree. So we've used up all of our items that we needed to. One was the bubbles, which we used in our air or our wind area. Then one of them was the confetti machine. I used that over by the volcano. One of the items was the Lego blossoming item, and that one I used over in, you saw it probably over by Grizzly's house and stuff in our wood area. And then this was the futon was the last item. I shook it out of a tree, and only one item came out of a tree. I shook all the ones on the island that I could, and only one came out. So that is what we ended up with. I'm thankful that it wasn't a toilet. That's all I can say. This is our little waterfall area behind where the source of the water comes from. And we just kind of did it up with some lanterns up there, some butterflies and flowers and bushes and just the waterfalls themselves. And, more ducks hanging out up in this region as well. And then if you continue back behind here, it's honestly just more of the water area and some filler items, things like that kind of blend it all in together. So that is our little water area. Also, you're getting a little glimpse of the wind area, but we'll go by that in just a minute. We're going to head back down to the front, and we're going to start the other direction where we have our fire area. But I will show you the beach briefly on this side. It's just basic, very basic. So if you come up here, we've just got some pine trees, a few butterflies and shell items, flowers, got a little fake shack thing up here, and yeah, just a little pathway that heads up, and some flowers and some more trees. So just stuff to kind of blend it in again with the landscape and things like that. I didn't do much different on the other beach sides as well, just because A, beaches are not my favorite. B, I just wanted to add something to look at, but not necessarily, it wasn't part of the challenge, if you will. It wasn't part of the elemental part of the challenge. So I figured it's just an added bonus, you know, a little added bonus. So now we're going to walk this direction. We're back in the meadow, you know, where Fauna lives. And I don't know if I went back here. You know what? Let's go back up by Grizzly's house really fast, because there's the Lego Blossom item, by the way, that I was showing you. I don't know if you saw, but he has a little cave back here. I figure bears usually live in caves, so I went ahead and put a cave back there for him as well. And then if you continue to the right, the rest of the earth area is to the right here. So we're going to go look at that. And that's just this little area here. We have a little picnic and bench area, a little bit of waterfalls in the background. And then we've got this little picnic table area set up where you can come out here and kind of camp and have a little snack here in the hiking trail, I guess. We've got little bikes where you can go biking and things like that. So those are pretty cute. And then Nook's Cranny and Able Sisters are down in this area. And so if you come down here, you can actually get to it a lot easier from the path itself right here. But if you come on down this direction, we see our little Nook's Cranny. It's just a basic shopping center store here for them. And then if you continue this way, this is Able Sisters. I just kind of covered it up a little bit to make it look a little more rustic to go with, you know, what's behind it. And I left Nook's Cranny alone. I thought it looked just fine the way it was. And then if you continue here past Rodeo, where he lives, this is basically the lava fire area of the island. So we've got blobs of lava everywhere. We've got, some of this is still on fire because it's very hot. How I'm walking on it, I don't know. I have special boots on. Anyway, this is Rodeo's house. Some bad things have happened to people back here. Like, it's really scary. So don't come out here, you know. This is a big lava rock, you know. And then if you continue up this direction, this is where our volcano is. We're going to walk back and look at it from a distance so you can kind of see what it actually looks like. This is Phoebe's house and a little pathway that goes behind the volcanic area, and this just kind of links it back up to our cloudy area back there. And then of course our beach just has some basic things. Obviously the lava has not attacked our beach area quite yet, so that's pretty good. But we are going to walk back this direction so that we can go look at some of the other stuff. There's also you know, some poor souls that were lost here as well, and maybe some animals and things. There's a little crossover that goes to resident services, which is kind of in the earth section. So we kind of just left that in that area. And yeah, so that basically is that. And there's just some more cave areas and things like that, and the pathway that goes this direction. We're going to go up here, up this path, and this will take you up to the viewing point where you can actually see where the actual troublemaker is, our volcano. And we've got things flying out of it. You can see the rocks are bursting from it, and there's all sorts of things flying out of that volcano. So our little confetti machines are back there. I feel like it kind of looks like big chunks of ash or something like that coming out. So I think it did a good job. And then the decayed trees and all that, looks like they just got all burned down and, you know, didn't quite make it, you know. So I really enjoyed that. And so then we're going to go back down here and we're going to take a quick overview of our wind area, and then we'll do a small walkthrough of that area as well. So, and then we'll be done with the island. So if you walk up here, this is just a little bit of the waterfall that's linked up to where resident services is. This is still our earth area, you know. Grizzly's house over here to the left and his cave and all that. And then if you continue up here, this is where our wind area is. And that's our big, enormous castle in the sky. So it's a big one, y'all. It is a big one. I went ahead and went gangbusters crazy with it. We've got a little ladder here if you want to come down. And then there's a little incline that you can run down this way. We've got some bubbles, as you can see there. Pretty easy to run through here, you know. It's not scooch core at all. So you can kind of come through and see all our little cloudy areas. We've got these little bunches of clouds here. And then if you come on up here, we're going to head this direction. And there's just more cloudiness up this way. We've got this pretty little area here where red probably will stop. The plates up above are supposed to be like floaty bubbles, you know. And then over here is just this little section. Just wanted to make sure it's all cohesive and together. And then we're going to go off to the right where you guys can see the rest of the little cloudy areas. I tried to put these little hedges out to make them look like you're floating in the clouds. So hopefully that conveys it, you know, a little bit. Oh, by the way, our villager houses, I probably should show you that. They are in here inside the castle. So our villager houses are back here. We've got Ione's house here. And then if you go, here's our museum hidden back here. And then this is Sky's house right here. So they all are part of the castle. They're all the kings and queens and the residents of the castle area. And then if you continue this way, you'll see some more ruins on this side. And if you continue up front this direction, there's our little pedestals. We've got our little square of air up there, just the element of air. So all of them do have one of those little cubes to represent, you know, the different areas. This is our little walkway that heads back down into Earth. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, not only the tour, but the entire island itself. I really did enjoy making it. Matter of fact, it was probably the fastest island I've ever put together. When they announced this challenge, I already had thought of what I would like to do for each area. And what made me happy is that, you know, I couldn't do probably a whole island of wind, but I could do a section. And I probably couldn't do a whole island of fire, but I could do a section. And the same water I probably could make work, or swamp or whatever, for a whole island, as well as the earth part, but the other two pretty difficult. So it was kind of nice to be able to just do chunks of them and make them work that way. And yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please let me know. I do have a Pinterest that all of the codes that I use are over there, and I will link that below. And otherwise, I will see you soon. I haven't decided what I'm going to do next, so our future videos are kind of up in the air. I'm going to try to decide. I am working on my no cheats island, and I think that's probably the majority of what you'll see for now. I'm kind of trying to not use my modded switch after this for a while and just do some vanilla type islands. Not only because it's my favorite, but also because the modded stuff just kind of stresses me out a little bit, and all the updates and all of that. So I might try to kind of get away from that and do everything de naturel, or just using treasure islands of people who aren't so stressed out about the modded situation. So in any case, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Y'all take care. I love y'all, and I appreciate my members as well. Thank you so much for your support. It really does mean a lot. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.